from May 8th to May 12th. Just for Mom. Everything in stock is on sale just for Mom. Choose from select loose diamonds and stud earrings. Diamond stud earrings a whopping 50% off from May 8th to May 12th. Just for Mom. Everything in stock is on sale just for Mom. Just for Mom. And that's not all. All jewelry 30 to 70% off and watches are 10% off. Give Mom the gift she deserves this Mother's Day. It's a flash sale. May 8th through May 12th at King Jewelers, 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson. Just for Mom. From May 8th to May 12th. Just for Mom. Everything in stock is on sale just for Mom. KingJewelersJackson.com.
And number 45 steps on the plate. So far, he's batting 1,000. The pitcher delivers. But wait, that's not the ball. It's the taxes. 45 Automart takes a swing, and they're gone.
At 45 Automart, we're making your taxes go dark with Grand Slam savings out of the park. That's right. For a short time, we're going to whack your tax up to $1,500 on anything you choose, so there's no way to lose at 45 Automart. Go to 45automart.com. Check out our bullpen that's stacked with more clean Carfax Southern rides than you can shake a bat at. Mustangs, Silverados, Wranglers,
Altimas, F-150s, Camrys, Tacomas, Rogues, 4Runners, Avalanches, Cadillacs, Equinoxes, Cobalts, Caravans, Grand Cherokees, Lexus, Mercedes, Fiat, Ferrari.
You get the picture. We're ready to whack the tax on all of them. Why strike out with Mr. Mega Dealer's base cash stealing stunts when dealing at 45 Automart is as easy as a lob, pitch, bunt? Check us out at 45automart.com today, where you're knocking the taxes over the fence with deals that save dollars and make tons of sense. Dealer!
My name's Tommy Bland, and I just received the BioT hormone replacement therapy. For BioT, I was just not hitting on all cylinders. I didn't feel like myself. I was constantly fatigued, brain fog, lack of energy, searching for something natural, something that I could use to help benefit my body and help maybe take me back to where I once was. And while I was waiting in the waiting room, I saw a pop-up advertisement there, and I started reading over all the symptoms, and I went down the list. They all pertain to me. My experience with Miss Kim Nichols, my case manager for BioT, was great. She was very informative, put me at ease, went through everything step by step, knew exactly what to expect and what the outcome was going to be in the end. After BioT, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I can get off work, go home, catch my second wind, and I'm off to the races again. It doesn't matter if I'm working, selling cars, or if I'm on the boat fishing a tournament, I'm back to my old self again.
Give us a call at 731-318-5827 or visit our website at advancedrehabjackson.com for more.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range, date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get: a shooting lane for two targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse, all for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from the range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
News Talk West Tennessee includes NewsTalk965.com and NewsTalk 96.5 FM, covering local news, sports, and weather on an extensive network of platforms, including radio, social media streaming, digital TV, live stream, podcasts, all on your devices. Our local and live weekday lineup includes Daybreak with Greg Wood and G-Unit, Walker Talks with Chuck Walker and Julie Holt, The Dan Reeves Show with Gina Langley and Larry Newman, Dave Ramsey, Jackson-Madison County Schools Game of the Week, UT Vols Sports, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Local, live, News Talk West Tennessee and NewsTalk965.com. Hear it first on News Talk 96.5 FM. We might be talking about you.
Where is the moment we need it the most? You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray, and tell me your passion's gone away, and I don't need no carrying on. You stand in the line just to hit a new
been opened by me as an alternative to Twitter.
And your handle on True Social is @Real Donald Trump?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Now, on October 12th, just a few days ago, you issued a statement on True Social about Ms. Carroll in this case, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And the statement that you posted, who wrote that statement?
I did.
You yourself?
Yeah.
Did you post the statement yourself?
Yes.
And in addition to posting the statement on True Social, you also sent it to the press.
Yes, it's called Truth and Post. We post much like, how would you say it? We put out a statement and we also put it on Truth.
Okay, let's look at the statement. Let's mark it as, what's my next number? DJT 28. Okay, so this one.
I can't read this.
Well, we have a blown up version. Let's mark it as 28 and 28A.
Same guy.
So what we have in front of you is DJT 28, sir, is the post as it appeared on True Social on October 12, 2022, and a blown up version, because we appreciate the reading. The type is very small, a blown up version that should be more legible. Do you have
I
both
can
of those?
see it, yeah.
Okay. So it says October 12, 2022, statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. This, quote, Ms. Bergdorf Goodman case is a complete con job, and our legal system in this country, and our legal system in this country, but especially in New York State, just look at Peekaboo James, is a broken disgrace. You have to fight for years and spend a fortune in order to get your reputation back from liars, cheaters, and hacks. This decision is from the judge who was just overturned on my same case. I don't know this woman, have no idea who she is, other than it seems she got a picture of me many years ago with her husband shaking my hand on a reception line at a celebrity charity event. She completely made up a story that I met her at the doors of this crowded New York City department store and within minutes swooned her. Swooned is in quotes. It is a hoax and a lie, just like all the other hoaxes that have been played on me for the past 7 years. And while I'm not supposed to say it, I will. This woman is not my type, exclamation point. She has no idea what day, what week, what month, what year, or what decade this so-called event, in quotes, supposedly took place. The reason she doesn't know is because it never happened, and she doesn't want to get caught up with details or facts that could be proven wrong. If you watch Anderson Cooper's interview with her, where she was promoting a really crummy book, you will see that it is a complete scam. She changed her story from beginning to end after the commercial break to suit the purposes of CNN and Andy Cooper. Our justice system is broken, along with almost everything else in our country. Her lawyer is a political operative and Cuomo crony who is to sue him all over the place. She is suing me on numerous frivolous cases, just like this one, and the court system does nothing to stop it. In the meantime, and for the record, E. Jean Carroll is not telling the truth, is a woman I had nothing to do with, didn't know, and would have no interest in knowing her if I ever had the chance. Now all I have to do is go through years more of legal nonsense in order to clear my name of her and her lawyer's phony attacks on me. This can only happen to, quote, in quotes, Trump, exclamation point. Did I read that correctly?
Great statement.
And now that you've heard it again and you have it in front of you, you again confirm that you wrote the whole thing yourself.
I wrote it all myself. All myself.
Did you? Now, at the beginning of your post, the reference Ms. Bergdorf Goodman is a reference to Ms. Carroll, right?
That's right.
Now, when you say in here, I don't know this woman and have no idea who she is, even though you're using the present tense, you're referring back to your knowledge as of when she first made the allegation.
I still don't know this woman. I think she's a whack job. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this woman other than what I read in stories and what I hear. I know I know nothing about her.
Okay, well, I guess the distinction I'm trying to make, sir, is that when the allegation came out in 2019, you said I think it's your testimony, you had no idea who she was.
Sorry. I still don't.
Well, today you at least know that she's a plaintiff in a case suing you, correct?
Oh, yes, that I know.
Okay.
But I know nothing about her. I think she's sick, mentally sick.
Okay. You say in this post, you use a strange word which I want to ask you about. You say she completely made up a story that I met her at the doors of this crowded New York City department store and within minutes swooned her. You see that?
Yeah.
What does swoon her mean?
That would be a word, maybe accurate or not, having to do with talking to her and talking to her to do an act that she said happened, which didn't happen. And it's a nicer word than the word that starts with an F. And this would be a word that I use because I thought it would be inappropriate to use the other word. And it didn't happen.
Okay, I was curious when I read this, so I looked up the word swoon in the dictionary, and under the dictionary it means to faint with extreme emotion. That's not what you meant here.
Objection to form.
Well, sort of. That's what she said I did to her. She fainted with great emotion. She actually indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, I believe that's what took place. We can define that. You'll have to show that. I'm sure you're going to show that. But she was interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and I think she said that rape was sexy, which it's not, by the way. But I think she said that rape was sexy, and she actually said things that were very strange. And then she was a different person when he said, we'll take a break right now. We're going to take a break right now. He didn't like what she was saying. He was very upset with and then she came back and she was a much different woman in the second half, so to speak.
And so the question I'm asking you is, did she say in that interview that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, she said something to that effect. I mean, you'll have to take a look at the interview yourself. I believe she said rape was sexy, to which Anderson Cooper is dying. He's saying, let's get to a commercial break immediately. I think you better watch the interview. I'm sure you have, but you better watch the interview.
In the interview, when Ms. Carroll talked about rape being sexy, isn't it true that she said that's a view that many other people hold?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. All I know is I believe she said rape is sexy or something to that effect, but you'll have to watch the interview. It's been a while.
And just to clarify, I think you said a few minutes earlier that you used the word swooned as a synonym for, you said the F word, for sexual intercourse?
Yeah. Okay. That's because that's what she said.
What do you mean? She never used the word swooned.
Oh, she said that I did something to her that never took place. There was no anything. I know nothing about this nut job.
Okay, then you go on to say in the statement, and while I am not supposed to say it, I will. Why were you not supposed to say it?
Because it's not politically correct to say. Read the next, go ahead. That she's not my type? Yeah, because it's not politically correct to say it, and I know that, but I'll say it anyway. She's accusing me of rape. A woman that I have no idea who she is. It came out of the blue. She's accusing me of rape, of raping her. The worst thing you can do, the worst charge, and you know it's not true too. You're a political operative also. You're a disgrace. But she's accusing me, and so are you, of rape, and it never took place. And I will tell you, I made that statement, and I said, while it's politically incorrect, she's not my type, and that's 100% true. She's not my type.
Now, in your True Social statement on October 12, You use the word hoax. Specifically, you say it is a hoax and a lie, just like all the other hoaxes that have been played on me for the past 7 years. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Recall making that statement. And I take it what you're saying there is Ms. Carroll fabricated her claim that you sexually assaulted her, correct?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
100%.
Fair to say, you'd agree with me, would you not, that you use the term hoax quite a lot?
Yes, I do.
CNN reported that you used it more than 250 times in 2020. Does that sound right?
Could
to you?
be. I've had a lot of hoaxes played on me. This is one of them.
And how would you define the word hoax?
A fake story, a false story, a made-up story.
Something that's not true.
Something that's not true. Yes.
Sitting here today, can you recall what else you have referred to as a hoax?
Sure. The Russia hoax. It's been proven to be a hoax. Ukraine hoax. The Mueller situation for 2.5 years hoax. Ended in no collusion. It was a whole big hoax. The lying to the FISA court hoax. The lying to Congress many times hoax by all these people, this scum that we have in our country. Lying to Congress, hoax. The spying on my campaign, hoax. They spied on my campaign and now they admit it. That was another hoax. And I could get a whole list of them. And this is a hoax too.
This, when you say this and that?
This ridiculous situation that we're doing right now is a big fat hoax. She's a liar and she's a sick person, in my opinion. Really sick. Something wrong with her.
Well, we took the time to play that because it's, I don't know where you would be able to hear that full testimony there with the deposition of President Trump. That happened back in October. It had to do with a case that was decided today. Former President Donald Trump found liable in this civil case. And that's not, this song's not meant for Donald Trump, it's for our country, because here we go again, split along the party lines, most likely, after this civil case decided today. We'll have the details for you here in just a moment. We play it for you so you can hear it and you can decide, and you also can see it if you're watching the program today on newstalk965.com, or you can also watch it on our YouTube channel for News Talk WTN and across our social media platforms. Good afternoon. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Gina Langley. Hi, Gina.
Hey, Danny.
And Larry Newman. Hello, Newman. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, Dan. How are you? Oh, wait.
You had up too many fingers
Reeves.
there. Hello, Newman. You doing okay today, big guy?
I'm doing good.
Are you sure, or is this a hoax?
Is it
this
fake
a hoax?
News? Fake news?
A hoax?
No, it's not a hoax.
Don't let me swoon you, because I can do that with words. I'm a wordsmith. I'm paid by the word. That's why I talk so much.
He'll make you faint.
Paid by the... I'll make you faint. Big baby. Well, let's get started with the weather, and we thought that was important to play that for you and let you not only play it for you here on News Talk 96.5, but where you can watch it in case you missed that. You won't see that just everywhere. Inside that deposition room. And then today we find out the jury, after I think 3 hours of deliberation, found Donald Trump liable.
Is that the first time ever? I'm just curious. You may or may not know.
First time ever.
A former president involved in such a thing. Do you have any idea?
A civil case? No, I think, I believe, you can look it up and see, pardon me, Bill Clinton was, I think, faced some civil suits as well.
Whitewater, right?
No, that was Ken Starr, the late Ken Starr, worked himself into a frenzy on Whitewater. What he found out, since there apparently was nothing there, well, at least he didn't uncover anything at Whitewater, but he did find out about the lady in the blue dress in the stain on the blue dress, and that's what that was come up with on Bill Clinton, and that he did commit perjury.
Yeah.
I did not have sex with that woman.
Evidently, he didn't find it to be. He did not find it beneficial to admit that he had an affair on his wife. He would be the first man ever to come to that conclusion. I'll go down with the ship.
He
did.
He had the question about what the word is.
What is.
Yeah. I remember.
There's no there. It's a hoax. If he'd only thought to say it's a hoax.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. He did not go down with the ship. He did step off the ship before it went down. But he could have at least gotten wet. But he did face, in our lifetime, that was the first time we witnessed the president's face
impeachment.
A hearing of impeachment, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, let's get the weather. It's warm outside, there's no doubt. We're showing 83 with a real feel of 96 degrees. We're going to have to get the tanning bell out, for crying out loud. We don't want you to burn. It's no hoax, folks. It feels like it's 96 degrees outside right now. That's the tanning bell. Be sure to flip. We'll play that every 30 minutes. We got to get a sponsor for that. And so you don't burn. So if you're laying out on the dirt at Muse Park, it's time to flip over. Flip over. The weather presented by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses, he buys land, and he buys trailers fast for cash. DustinBuys.com, DustinBuys.com. The weather. Let's move over to Larry Newman over in the Weather Center in front of the Doppler. His portable Doppler. Larry?
All right. Tonight, 63 for the low. Partly cloudy. Lows in the lower 60s.
You want to double back to this afternoon or just skip it?
Well, you already did what it is now.
Yeah, currently it's yeah.
So that's been covered.
Well, there's a little more in the afternoon before we get to the low, but that's okay. Screw it. That's throwaway time. You know, they call Middle America flyover.
Is this a hoax?
I was going to ask you that. They call Middle America flyover territory.
I know.
So let's say from 329 till the low tonight, we'll call that the flyover territory. Forget about it. The low tonight is going to be what? Going to be what?
I can go hour by hour if you'd like to.
No,
I can drag this sucker out till 6 o'clock.
Well, that's an extreme reaction to me asking you, what about the rest of the afternoon?
Quit trying to swoon me.
Well, I definitely do
Are
not
you two gonna
interpret.
kiss and make up?
I don't interpret what you're saying to me an effort to swoon me. I have detected it is the opposite to swooning. For crying out loud, man, just give the weather. I just want to know what it's doing this afternoon and tonight. We've covered that. So
we've covered that.
You said the low to
67
Fahrenheit,
and winds, right? Yep, cloudy. Winds 5 miles per hour. So that we won't have strong
which direction? Winds. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Oh, Lord. The barometric pressure in Bemis, 30.01. And the humidity is 53, as you like that. And tomorrow in Jackson, Tennessee. As it pops up here. 82 for the high, 65 for the low.
You know that spot we're running, looking for sales, marketing reps. Yeah. Will you make a note? Do one on weather?
We need a weather guy. Lord, how much?
Kidding, Larry. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Laughter is medicine. It really is. But you like some more medicine?
No.
Okay.
Thursday, 70% chance of storms during the day. 80 degrees for the high, 66 for the low. Mostly cloudy Thursday night. So that'll get us the next couple of days. It's going to rain part of one of them.
It's going to rain part of one of them? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. And that is not a hoax.
Lordy.
Which one and which part, Larry?
Hey, Melissa, if you see a child, if you see anyone homeless, ask them if they want to do the weather, please. And we
That really kind of went off the rails there right at the end, didn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Larry, your weather plane just crashed into the side of the mountain.
Thursday.
No.
It's gonna rain.
No. Listen, we're good. We're good.
What about Friday for the strawberry festival?
We'll take a look. We'll take a look later.
50% chance of storms on Friday.
Okay. Before you put that in ink, we'll revisit it in just a moment and make sure. It almost reminds me. You remember when we grew up and we were kids. There was 3 channels, 3 networks. ABC, NBC, CBS, right?
Yes.
I guess not around 1980 when cable really settled in and exploded, we had cable. And then we saw the emergence of the superstations. Remember WTBS?
Yeah.
The Atlanta Braves became America's team. Ted Turner owned the team and he owned the network. And he was looking for cheap programming, and he said, hey, I got an idea. Let's put our baseball team on this network.
Yes.
Braves fans all over America because of that, and all over the world. And to similarly, but not maybe to that degree, it was WGN out of Chicago. We had that as well on cable.
Puppies.
And it was Christmas Vacation, 1980. I was like 11 years old. And it was one of those days in the winter where it was like 65 degrees. You know how we get those. And my grandmother came to the door. We were outside playing ball, being some kids from the neighborhood. And she said, Danny, get in here. We got to go to the grocery store. Blah, blah, blah. There's a blizzard in the forecast for tonight. I said, it's like 68 degrees. She said, come on in. They just give the weather. And I said, what channel were you watching? She told me. I said, that's WGN. That's a local forecast. That station's out of Chicago. That's a Chicago, Illinois weather forecast. And I had to explain it to her. She really didn't know. And if you think about it, when she was a kid, there was no TV. And then during her lifetime, she's getting a local Chicago weather forecast on her TV in Milan, Tennessee. And I expected her to know that instinctively. Well, she explained to me how I set the bar too high for someone who just a few years later had never heard of TV. I think we may have done that with a Doppler. You and a Doppler. There you go. But times have changed big time. There's a Freedom Fest coming to Memphis. Fox Business host Lisa Kennedy will MC this. Freedom Fest in Memphis. We'll give you, the details coming up here in just a bit. That's going to be in July. And this, a news release today from the Jackson-Madison County Airport Authority announcing promotions of key employees. Jackson-Madison County Airport Authority responsible for the managing and operations of McKellar-Sipes Regional Airport. Proud to announce the promotions of key employees within the organization. Cindy Melton, formerly Deputy Airport Director, has been promoted to Deputy Director/Airport Manager. Way to go, Cindy! Woo-hoo. And Brandon David, formerly Airport Operations Manager/Interim FBO Manager, has been promoted to Deputy Airport Director. Way to go, Brandon! Woo-hoo. I almost said, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon David. And a good friend of mine, the executive director there, Steve Smith, said, quote, these promotions reflect the significant contributions these individuals have made to the success of our organization. We are confident that they will excel in their new roles and continue to drive growth and innovation across the company. Close quote, Steve Smith. And we'll reach out to Steve and invite Steve and those Cindy and let's go Brandon into the studio. We'll talk with him because it's a pretty exciting time for Jackson McKellar-Sipes Regional Airport. That's a mighty big airport, y'all got. It's a big airport. It really is. It's really big. It's great. Believe me, people are saying it's great. Now, you can join us. The phone number is 731-265-6496. 731-265-6496 to join us on the program. Get up in here. Your feelings, your response to former President Trump being judged liable in a civil case concerning a sexual assault. We're going to get to the details and what all this means here in just a moment. But we want to find out how you feel as well. Here's a chance for you to respond. Whatever's on your mind, that's what we get to. We check the pulse of West Tennessee throughout 15 counties. And I just read the fastest growing news talk radio station in North America, at least in the northwest corner of southwest Tennessee.
Led by the weather.
Let me handle it. Don't jump in on that one and butcher that all to get up HE whatever. And so now that phone number again is 731-265-6496. Brought to you by CWA Development. They specialize and they have 80 years experience in commercial and residential restoration and renovation. You can text the program presented by Advanced Rehab and Medical. AdvancedRehabJackson.com. That's where the pain stops. Dr. Shannon Bone, ranked in the top 10 for chiropractors on planet Earth. And Earth is big. Huge. It's huge. AdvancedRehabJackson.com. If you'd like to text the program, the text line is 731-800-8398. 731-800. Text 731-800-8398 to text this program. We'll read it right over the air for you. From the Gene Langley Ford Studio in Jackson, Tennessee. Woo-hoo. Gene Langley Ford is at 3500 Eastern Drive in Humboldt, the dealership that service truly built. Now offering concierge service in the service department. That means if you need an oil change or if you need any service work done at the award-winning Gene Langley Ford Service Department, within a 15-mile radius, they'll come pick your vehicle up at home or at your office, take it in, do the service work, and then deliver it right back to you. There's no charge for the pickup and delivery service. It's complimentary concierge service, courtesy of Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt. GeneLangleyFord.com, where you can shop online 24/7. Well, any initial thoughts? My big concern on this civil case is how it will be absorbed by the American people, and I see no evidence to think that we won't absorb this along party lines.
I think you're correct.
Yes.
Think so?
I think so.
Yep.
Fair enough. We're all on the same page. We better go home now. Have a good day. And the low tonight's going to be 68. Out. What happens between now and the low tonight is anyone's guess. It's none of your business. Find out yourself. How's the weather? You have a window? Open it. Brought to you by Dustin Ray.
Thanks, Dustin.
Thank you, Dustin. We'll be right back on the program. A lot to get to today. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. Did I say we have a lot to talk about on the program today? We've got a lot to talk about. Coming in this afternoon, and boy, it's a lineup of you. If it hurts when you do this, then be ready to shoot us a text or call in. Is the very talented Dr. Noah from Sports Orthopedics and Spine will be in on the program this afternoon. We'll chat with him. And when you say, hey, Doc, it hurts when I do this, he's going to give you much more of a detailed answer than, well, then stop doing that. But you probably ought to stop. At least you hear from the doctor. And did you say someone else is stopping by today?
Our new friend that we met earlier today.
Chesney.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I remember because she said her name was Chesney, and I thought, hey, I loved your restaurant.
It's Chesley. It's Chesley.
Which one is it, Larry?
Chesley.
We made a new
You'll
friend.
agree with her.
She's going to come hang out with us.
It's one of the two, but I think she said Chesney because I remember I used to love that restaurant. Remember Chesney's?
Yeah, I do, but that's not her name.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I think it is. But I love that restaurant.
I think you're wrong, and you have a hard time thinking you're wrong.
That's not the case at all. I don't mind being wrong, and I certainly wouldn't go to the mat over the pronunciation of her name. Especially when she can come in and clear it up. But do you remember that restaurant well?
Feels like
Chesney.
you're going to the mat on this one.
Oh, no, I've let it go. But somebody hasn't.
I remember it, the deck and hanging out there back in the day.
Oh, well, you had
much fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You remember that restaurant, Larry Chesney's?
No, I wasn't here when all that happened.
That was fabulous.
I'm not sure you're here today.
Well, probably not. Yes, Tuesday.
You know those maps that say you are here? Larry, you are here. And the only reason I mention that is so that you know where you are. Larry's here. It's 85 degrees. It feels like it's 96 degrees. It's 3:42. It's Tuesday. It's May the 9th. It's 2023. The year of our Lord is 2023. This is the program that offers you the ability to live without illusion. It's just an offer. Most people don't take it, but it is an offer. We will keep up with the tanning belts if you're laying out today working on the tan. Don't stress. We'll let you know. No, that's a little over the top. That's the tanning belt right there. Don't flip. Yeah, it's been 30 minutes. I was just letting you know that's what it sounds like. That's well, you can go ahead and flip. We'll just start over. We got to get a system on this, Larry. We're going to have a lot of people suffering from sunburn. Because I've already screwed this up. We just got started.
We need a sponsor.
Yeah, if we get a sponsor, we'll take it more seriously, I feel like. Don't you?
I do, too.
I do, too.
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. When severe weather strikes, we're here for you. 96.5 FM, News Talk WTN.com.
Looking for a new and exciting career? At Jackson State Community College, we offer nationally recognized, top-rated programs designed to greenlight your career for success. Whether you're making the decision to finish your degree or forging a path towards a new career, your next step starts here at Jackson State. Learn how Jackson State Community College can greenlight your future at greenlightyourfuture.com. Paid for in full or in part with funds provided by the Strengthening Career and Technical Education in 21st Century Act.
Hey, this is Chuck Walker with Southeastern Termite and Pest Control. We recently celebrated our 20th year in business here in West Tennessee. That's 2 decades of growth for us. We've added to our work family, moved locations a few times, seen our coworkers have kids and grandkids. We've even seen our clients who were kids when we started at their parents' house now call us to take care of their homes. Lots of things change over 20 years, but here's what hasn't. We can still be reached 24 hours a day. We still provide quality, guaranteed termite and pest control service for all of West Tennessee. We still are the go-to company for real estate closing letters. We still provide quality fungus treatments and affordable moisture barriers. We still take care of your bed bugs, brown recluse, and every other pest problem you could have. If you own a home, you need termite protection. And the biggest thing we've learned in 20 years, we need you. Give us a call 24 hours a day for a different kind of experience from a service company. Southeastern, 660-1052. That's Southeastern, 660-1052.
Pansies, poppies, and daffodils.
Hey everybody, this is Chandler Lewis with Dean Langley Ford. Today, I'm going to talk about the 23 Bronco Sport Badland. The heart of this beast is a 2.0 EcoBoost, producing 250 horsepower and 277 foot-pounds of torque. And it does power a 4x4 system, which means you can get over any terrain possible. To go over any obstacle you have a 17-inch gray aluminum wheel wrapped in a all-terrain Pirelli tire. Now to the back, you're looking at 65 cubic feet of space, which means you can fit 3 golden retrievers back here, groceries, or even if you're a college student moving boxes. But no matter what, you can celebrate by opening a bottle. Now moving on to the interior, you have an ebony roast with heated front seats. You do have a 8-inch display backed with Android Auto. and Apple CarPlay. Now, one of my favorite parts is the GOAT modes. So as I was talking about earlier, you have 7 different drive modes. The GOAT modes is what gets you to that different terrain. So if you guys liked anything I spoke about, the horsepower, cargo space, or even the interior, come see me today at Gene Langley Ford. Again, Chandler Lewis.
Every pest control company has access to the same products. The Southeastern difference is the way we go to market. We don't believe that you should have to take out a bank loan to protect your home. You have more value to us as a lifelong customer, not as a one-and-done sale from a slick salesman. We can still be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Termite and pest control, fungus and moisture barriers, attic installation, or just about anything else. Our services are guaranteed. 731-660-1052.
Hey everybody, this is Chandler Lewis with Gene Langley Ford. Today I'm going to talk about the 23 Bronco Sport Badland. The heart of this beast is a 2.0 EcoBoost, producing 250 horsepower and 277 foot-pounds of torque. And it does power a 4x4 system, which means you can get over any terrain possible. To go over any obstacle you have a 17-inch gray aluminum wheel wrapped in a all-terrain Pirelli tire. Now to the back, you're looking at 65 cubic feet of space, which means you can fit 3 golden retrievers back here, groceries, or even if you're a college student, moving boxes. But no matter what, you can celebrate by opening a bottle. Now moving on to the interior, you have an ebony roast with heated front seats. You do have a 8-inch display backed with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now one of my favorite parts is the GOAT modes. So as I was talking about earlier, you have 7 different drive modes. The GOAT modes is what gets you to that different terrain. So if you guys liked anything I spoke about, the horsepower, cargo space, or even the interior, come see me today at Gene Langley Ford. Again, Chandler Lewis.
Starbucks, Bourbon and Barley's, where Jackson loves to lunch.
Get all the latest news, talk, weather, and sports. NewsTalkWTN.com and 96.5 FM.
And we're pretty sure that it splashed onto the cat. The main thing that upsets me is that he urinated on my daughter's toys. It's a little girl, you know, and she played with it in his pee for 2 days.
Don't! Okay, that deserves a little further explanation. This is a story of a pest control worker charged. He was charged after being caught on home surveillance on the video urinating on a client's furniture in their living room. That was a tenant we just heard from at the home talking about initially discovering that Roger Young had urinated all over their home.
So,
well,
tell me that's a felony or something.
I can tell you he's charged. I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you he was charged.
Felony urination, maybe?
I don't know. He was charged. If you Google his name, Roger Young, and
I'm kind of scared.
And he can't hurt you now. And
just don't go in his cell.
Pardon me?
I said, just don't go in his cell.
Wait, what's his name?
Because he's urinating all in there, too.
Thanks for challenging Gina, because I was concerned as what she was going to try to do to bake him a cake with maybe a file in it. And what were you asking, Gina?
What's his name?
Roger Young. Just Google Roger Young and pest control. And let's see what that charge would be. I assume that would be much more than a civil case, wouldn't you, Larry? Now, Roger...
Aiding in a wedding?
Roger has said that this is a hoax. No, I don't know that. What would you say? He's on surveillance. Now, think about it like this. How many times have we seen politicians, elected officials, on video, or a so-called newsman on video say something in living color and then say, wasn't me? Wasn't me. Roger, if I were you, I'd at least give that a shot. Or maybe say, that was not me, Judge. That was a Democrat pretending to be me. It was Antifa pretending to be me. This is a hoax. It's a witch hunt. Why not?
I've never been to that house. This is a hoax.
No, are you just saying it, or do you mean it for yourself?
No, I mean it for myself. That's the Trump
You
defense.
sound guilty. The Trump defense. The Trump defense. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Gina Langley and
Danny.
Larry Newman. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
And look at this. Chesley
King.
Exactly.
You got it.
Is in the house. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic. Good to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Chesley is auditioning to be our weather girl. We brought in what we said this to Larry just to put the pressure on Larry. No, Larry, you're doing a great job. But
I figured out what they're charging that guy with. Ready? Criminal mischief and disorderly conduct. That sounds like a misdemeanor.
criminal mischief and disorderly conduct.
Hey, listen, man. When you talk, you're full of bull.
No, it's he's on video, home surveillance. I'm going to tell you, if you don't operate as if you're being taped today, you're making a mistake.
True.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? We know we're being taped,
Yeah, I saw.
and
playback.
still we can't keep it between the ditches. Pardon?
I was watching the playback from yesterday, and it's terrible to watch yourself on video sometimes.
Oh, I enjoy watching myself on video.
Okay, the rest of us. Maybe are more
Especially those
self-critical
home
than you,
movies. Yeah, pardon?
Dan. Maybe the rest of us are a little more self-critical than you, Dan.
Maybe I'm just more, I don't know, maybe I don't like to look at it like that. I'd like to think more self-aware or more self-appreciative.
Self-appreciative,
'Cause I can
maybe.
appreciate-
Self-aware, I don't know.
I just caught a glimpse of myself, and I'm already petitioning to move this camera a little bit.
See, I was cut out of the shot, and I got upset about that this morning. I'm like, where's the camera? Hello?
Yes? I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, it's, it's,
The camera's square.
now's
on
a
Dan Reeves.
bad time to let me know you want to be on TV.
Why?
Because we'd have to change the entire business model.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, that shouldn't take long.
Shouldn't take long. We should have it done tomorrow. By noon at least.
And I can type pretty fast, so I can type it
So
up for
there
you.
you go.
Okay. Well, all right. We'll get on that. And there's in Kansas, this game, it's been a game warden. Kansas game wardens cite a person for fishing with a handgun. Now, look, we love guns in Tennessee, but I I don't know of anyone who goes fishing with a handgun.
Well, thank heavens. You've led a classy life.
What? Thank you. I tend to agree.
Because that's about as redneck as you can get.
With a 9mm handgun.
Shooting the fish?
That's what I was going to ask. Is he
No,
shooting
no,
the
Gina.
fish?
No, he was trying to pistol whip the fish. Of course he was.
I didn't know if he just had it on him or.
Yeah, like what was he?
Well,
did he have a string attached to it? Was actually fishing, or he was just aiming at the water?
Take a wild guess.
Shooting the fish.
He was shooting the fish. You've heard of shooting fish in a barrel?
Yeah. That's what he was shooting fish in a river.
Well, this is easier than that. I mean, these fish are essentially committing suicide. All right, let's listen to what the authorities had to say about this. And I don't know. Maybe we can check to see if that is illegal in Tennessee to go fishing with a 9mm. This buddy was fishing with a 9mm handgun. Now, it doesn't say what type of fish that was a target. Don't know if he was bass fishing or what, catfish.
Would you use different ammunition for different fish shooting?
Well, I don't do that.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm just wondering out loud.
Well, if you want a Tennessee catfish, which stay down pretty deep, I think, Chesley, right?
Yeah.
You'd probably need, an aircraft carrier that was capable of delivering JDAM bombs to get down that deep.
Right.
But if you're off target, you could take out the Tennessee River Bridge. And that would probably come with a charge attached to it.
Probably a little bit.
But here is the game warden in Kansas explaining this.
Shoot, forget this.
Yep.
Well, that's all we have on it. Yeah. But game wardens in Kansas City say they gave out a citation to someone who was fishing with a 9mm handgun.
What was the citation?
They said they seized the gun and ticketed the person for allegedly using illegal means to take fish and not having a license.
Say that last part again.
So you would.
They said they seized the gun and ticketed the man for allegedly using illegal means to take fish and not having a license.
So can you get a license to shoot fish in that state?
That's all I have for you. Was that story? I don't know.
He had a license to kill.
I don't. And here's why. I wish I had more information. I don't live in Kansas City, and I don't fish.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM. 96.5 FM. Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. At a news conference, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says Congress simply cannot allow the nation to default on its debt.
This would be catastrophic, and it does not have to happen. It does not have to happen. This could be avoided. We have never, ever defaulted before. We cannot be a deadbeat nation. So we can avoid this. The president's going to make that very clear today.
With more on today's meeting, White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Both parties are firmly dug in ahead of this afternoon's sit-down session in the Oval Office. With the government at risk of being unable to meet its obligations in a matter of weeks, the president and top lawmakers need to find common ground. Mr. Biden wants a standalone vote in Congress to raise the debt ceiling, while Republicans have passed a bill increasing the limit alongside spending cuts. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Also at townhall.com, post by Mauricio Garcia on a Russian social networking site suggests that the 33-year-old planned for weeks before he opened fire at a suburban Dallas shopping mall last weekend, killing 8 people and wounding 7 others. Garcia researched when the mall in Allen was busiest, Saturday afternoons. His online activity also portrayed a fascination with white supremacy and mass shootings, which he described as sport. A jury has found Donald Trump liable for sexually abusing advice columnist E. Jean Carroll in 1996, awarding her $5 million. The verdict was announced in a federal courtroom in New York City on the first day of jury deliberations. On Wall Street, stocks finishing lower today after some mixed earning reports. The Dow off 56 points and the NASDAQ was down 77. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Corey, and this is my story. I was going through some financial troubles paying off my credit cards. I was paying high interest rates, and it just wasn't getting any better. And I knew I had to do something. So my mom told me about Trinity, and so I decided to call. Trinity was able to do something that I couldn't. I'm paying off my debt, I'm saving thousands, and things are really looking up. I promise you guys, you will not regret it when you call Trinity, because it was such a relief and less stress in my life, and it was the best thing I could have done for myself, because once I called Trinity, they took care of me, and I felt such a relief, a weight off my shoulders. Trinity was great to work with. They wanted to help me. I love it.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
I'm Corey, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
Israeli air raids kill 3 prominent Islamic terrorists. The latest from the Media Line's Felice Friedson.
3 commanders of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist organization were killed overnight by Israeli airstrikes in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian sources report 13 civilian casualties, most of whom were family of the targeted trio. Some 40 aircraft reportedly participated in the mission, launched on an intelligence tip that the 3 wanted men were together. It came after the Gaza-based group had fired more than 100 rockets into Israel in a single day. Highways have been closed and the army is activating reservists. The operation sparked rare unity between government and opposition, although Prime Minister Netanyahu came under criticism for notifying Hamas that it would not be targeted this time around. I'm Felice Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. Governor Ron DeSantis has signed a trio of bills aimed at blunting Communist China's influence in Florida.
One of the bills places limits on the Chinese purchase of agricultural land and property near military installations and crucial infrastructure. Another addresses Chinese influence in the state's educational system. And the third bill is designed to protect digital data from CCP espionage. The governor's office says the measures serve as a blueprint for other states. Governor DeSantis says the Chinese Communist Party poses America's greatest geopolitical threat. Rich Thomason reporting.
Denny Crum, who won 2 NCAA men's basketball championships and built Louisville into one of the 1980s dominant programs during a Hall of Fame coaching career, has died. He was 86. Crum was at Louisville for 30 years. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
Flash sale just for mom. Flash sale May 8th through May 12th at King Jewelers. This Mother's Day, show mom some love with sparkling jewelry from King Jewelers. Don't miss out on this 1-week only sale from May 8th to May 12th. Just for mom. Everything in stock is on sale just for mom. Choose from select loose diamonds and stud earrings. Diamond stud earrings a whopping 50% off from May 8th to May 12th. Just for mom. Everything in stock is on sale just for mom. Just for mom. And that's not all. All jewelry 30 to 70% off, and watches are 10% off. Give mom the gift she deserves this Mother's Day. It's a flash sale May 8th through May 12th at King Jewelers, 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson. Just for mom. From May 8th to May 12th. Just for mom. Everything in stock is on sale just for mom. KingJewelersJackson.com.
Vintage doesn't always mean long-lasting. As your home systems age, your repair costs, utility bills, and breakdowns rise. During Hiller's Vintage Showdown, we're giving away a free new system to the owner of the oldest HVAC unit. Submit a picture of your old equipment online to see if you qualify as the winner. Everybody wins with trade-in credits plus 0% financing for up to 48 months with approved credit on select new HVAC systems. Enter to win now at happyhiller.com.
Call the Happy Face Truck today. If you're in business, you know just how important each call is. You don't have time for phone or internet downtime. Your business needs a reliable communications partner 24/7. You need Lifeline Voice and Data. Lifeline Voice and Data provides telephone service to emergency service facilities all over West Tennessee and beyond. For your business, we don't just provide a phone line. We provide a lifeline. Lifeline Voice and Data.
My name's Tommy Bland, and I just received the BioT hormone replacement therapy. For BioT, I was just not hitting on all cylinders. I didn't feel like myself. I was constantly fatigued, brain fog, lack of energy, searching for something natural, something that I could use to help benefit my body and help maybe take me back to where I once was. And while I was waiting in the waiting room, I saw a pop-up advertisement there, and I started reading over all the symptoms, and I went down the list. They all pertain to me. My experience with Ms. Kim Nichols, my case manager for BioT, was great. She was very informative, put me at ease, went through everything step by step, knew exactly what to expect and what the outcome was going to be in the end. After BioT, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I can get off work, go home, catch my second wind, and I'm off to the races again. It doesn't matter if I'm working, selling cars, or if I'm on the boat fishing a tournament, I'm back to my old self again.
Give us a call at 731-318-5827 or visit our website at advancedrehabjackson.com for more.
Take us with you wherever you go. Download our free apps for Apple and Android. Visit newstalkwtn.com. Then click to download.
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. When severe weather strikes, we are here for you. 96.5 FM, newstalkwtn.com.
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander. You know that. I know that. Sold his company for a tremendous amount of money. And he went out and bought a big yacht. And he had a very interesting life.
Live from Jackson in the heart of West Tennessee, this is the Dan Reeves Show.
He is a sick puppy.
Tuesday afternoon, it's May the 9th, 2023, Strawberry Festival week. And Gina, we're going to be over there Friday. We're jacked up about that.
Yes, we are.
The Grand Floats Parade. And we're going to be, we haven't talked to her about it yet. She'll find out sometime early Friday morning, Sarah Beth Langley's front yard.
Her front yard, yeah.
Which overlooks
Main Street.
Which is the route of the Strawberry Festival Parade, and across the street from the Carnival,
right,
which is across the street from all funnel cakes,
do you know what John
cotton
Thomas
candy.
brought home last night?
Pardon?
John Thomas brought home a deep fried Snicker bar from the festival, the vendors are there for the Strawberry Festival. I'm like, if loving this is wrong, I don't want to be right.
You got that right. I'm going to tell you, I believe, I don't want to ask the doc about this. I'm of the opinion that candy corn is a vegetable. It's.
I don't like candy. Do y'all like candy corn?
I'm not asking you to eat it. At least more for me.
I'm just sharing my unsolicited opinion.
Chesley?
On occasion. I'm not one that just goes out and buy candy corn.
I feel like it's always the Halloween candy that gets kind of set aside. It was
Right.
never the desired thing. It's not
Right.
wrapped. It
Oh,
gets
by
kind
the
of
way,
nasty.
speaking of Halloween candy, I bought some fresh Halloween candy just yesterday at Dollar Tree. Had it on sale. And I said, boy, that's a deal. So I picked that up.
Yummy.
Yes, fresh Halloween candy. Good afternoon. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Gina Langley. Chesley King is in the house. Hi, Chesley.
Hi, how are you?
Great to have you here.
Yes.
And look at this. Dr. Nord is making a house call. Dr.
Thanks.
Keith Nord.
Thanks for having me back.
Sports, Orthopedics' finest world-class care focused on me. Well, actually, it's on you.
Well,
But
we're going to have to talk about his shoulder, Dr. Nord.
Doc, my shoulder. It hurts when I do this. Well, I did tell you that, but you did a lot more than just say, well, don't do that. And unfortunately, you were right. I wanted a quick fix, as in, Doc, I don't care what it is. If it says that I may experience unrealistic feelings of well-being, I'd like some. But he focused on getting down to the source of the pain, which, again, I didn't agree with initially. But like you said, things will settle down. Be patient.
There you go. Is it slowly getting better?
Pardon?
Is it slowly getting better?
Slowly, yes, it is. Gina can tell you, it's much better.
Good.
Because you may have noticed I was in a lot of pain.
You were,
And
and
he doesn't suffer silently.
Sure. I did as long as I could. Then I smoked signals, whatever it took to get some attention. And
carrier pigeons. Help
carrier
me.
pigeons, yes. Message in a bottle, it didn't matter. Because in today's modern world, man, you got to keep pushing on. And I didn't realize how important the neck and the shoulder was.
Yeah, until you have an injury of the shoulder or the neck, you don't realize that you use it for both of them for everything.
Everything.
Boy, thank you, Doc. So what do you think what did you determine is going on with pinched nerve? I think we talked about. Looks like that may be it.
Yeah, that's what I think was going on. Is you had a pinched nerve in your neck, what's called cervical radiculopathy, and that's essentially, between each level of your neck you have bones, and then you have discs between each bone, and sometimes with either age or injury, you can have those discs rupture or leak, and they can push backwards and pinch the nerves that come out of your neck from your spinal cord and go out to your arm.
So with me, it'd be an injury, it wouldn't be age.
Exactly.
Of course, it wouldn't be age.
Okay,
Definitely
when you say pinched nerve, I mean that's what it is.
It is actually what's happening. You either have swelling or inflammation or part of a disc, or sometimes even arthritis and swelling of the joint or osteophytes. Something is pinching the nerve or compressing the nerve through the small canal where it exits away from the spinal cord out towards the arm.
So, okay, well, that's the reason why that it originates in my neck, but my arm, my shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's the same nerves that give you the sensation to your shoulder. They give you some of the motor function to your shoulder and to your arm, and depending on what level in your neck has the pinched nerve, that's where you will feel the pain. Because your brain picks that up as, something's happening to that region because the nerve that controls it is getting pinched and damaged.
Let me ask you this. Now, we are amazing creatures.
Oh, yeah.
The Homo sapien. Our modern form of human, okay? Before anybody freaks out. It's the... but why, evolution, don't we get to a point, and now would be a great time for this. Yeah. That our brains sends out a signal, hey, guy, you got a problem in your neck. Just want to let you know, I'm going to turn off the pain conductors or whatever, but I'll check back with you tomorrow on this time. If it's still a problem, I'm going to let you know, but I'm not going to constantly work you over.
Right.
Because essentially our brain is... The reason I'm feeling pain is to let me know there's a problem.
There's a problem, yeah.
Right.
It goes back to...
I get it, though.
It goes back to...
I get it.
Can we turn that function off?
Message received, yeah.
Message received.
Part of it is it goes back. It's so hardwired and how we are designed, and just even going back from caveman days. It's part of there's a fire. My hand's in the fire. Don't do that. Send a very strong signal to the brain. Don't ever do that again. And we learn that lesson as kids pretty quickly. You do something, you fall off a chair, you tend to not climb on the chair as much. And we have different things today, whether it's nerve blocks or pain medication that can help shut down those receptors some. But it's hard to overcome that biology. The body always it's so close to our core function of survival, pain is, that it's really hard to override or really get rid of it entirely, because the body will adapt. It'll adjust. If you take pain medication, like narcotics or something like that, your body will actually adapt to that and require more of it, because your body says, I'm not getting the signals like I should, and it'll up the ante, and it'll send a stronger signal. It'll take more narcotics to suppress that feeling of pain.
So if someone were to take, and we've had an opiate epidemic in our nation, and Tennessee's led the way, and the United States accounts for like 6% of the world population, but 83% of the scripts written for Oxycontin or opiates, I should say. So that tells me that Tennesseans had the biggest problem on earth with the addiction to opiates. So a lot of people start taking them to stop the pain.
Right.
Others take them to feel good and to party. Either way, you could find yourself in a position that you're not taking them any longer for pleasure. If you start doing that to party or for pleasure, one day, if it gets out of hand, you'll be taking them just to stop the pain.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the sneaky and terrible thing about narcotic addiction is that it doesn't usually actually start as partying or for enjoyment. It usually starts as a very real thing that had a justifiable cause for taking it.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's one of the more common things I see is somebody gets hurt, they get started on pain meds or narcotics. They have a very justifiable reason for it, but there was no plan in place for getting them off of it. And so the body gets adjusted to that dose, and then it requires more, and now you're taking a higher dose, and then eventually either they lose that doctor, that doctor says, no, I won't write it anymore, and then you have people that sometimes turn to illegal means for getting the medication because there's so much pain.
And so here's heroin making a comeback in the U.S.
Well, and then fentanyl and that whole situation.
So they're desperate, and people do anything when they're desperate, and so it's a hard thing, and you don't realize that you get addicted until your body's already adapted to those high levels. And there are people that have been taking opioids for decades. It all goes back to the pain is the fifth vital sign, kind of back from big pharma days, and there was a huge promoted push for you should never feel pain, and that's part of your core biology.
They wanted to treat it like a chronic illness that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I noticed you when I walked in, and you could see in my eyes, on my face, how much pain I was in, and you didn't reach for your script book at all.
Well,
because again, that's a quick fix. Right. But let's find out what's going on. Let's treat this. I appreciate that. Today I do. I didn't that day. No, he did. I did get a shot, but it wasn't for pain medication. It was something to control the inflammation.
Right. We try to do what's called multimodal pain control, where we give you a medicine for nerve pain, like gabapentin or Lyrica. We give you a steroid that can help reduce inflammation and swelling. We give you an NSAID, which is an anti-inflammatory. That's like your ibuprofen or Advil or Mobic. And we try to kind of hit you from all different sides with things that are not addictive that can actually help the symptoms and reduce the swelling and pain.
Dr. Keith Thornton with us. Sports, Orthopedics Inspired. We'll come right back and continue our conversation. We're also going to welcome in CWA, Charles Adams, longtime friend of mine. Do you know Charles Adams?
I have not met him.
Wait, you guys will be fast friends, I tell you. That man right there is an entrepreneur. He's a trailblazer. Gina will tell the story about how Easter almost was canceled at her house. She's having coffee with her husband, John, and not only was there cream in her coffee, part of her ceiling ended up in her coffee. Oh. True story. And Easter was bearing down in a huge plan with grandkids, and it almost was canceled.
Wow.
And she heard the advertisement for CWA.
All right.
And I'll let Gina explain that when we come back. So, Doc saved my life, and Charles, CWA, saved John's life. Her husband.
There we go.
Yeah, because somebody was going down, and it wasn't going to be Gina. We'll be right back. Stay right there. It is 4:21. It's Deion Sanders. Past the hour. It's 85 degrees, and it feels like 96 degrees.
Oh, my word.
Watch West Tennessee Championship Wrestling every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on NewsTalkWestTennessee.com.
See all the Memphis legends, Jerry the King Lawler, Dangerous Doug Gilbert, Superstar Bill Dundee, along with stars of today,
The Mid-South Prodigy Bam Bam Bundy, MJ Davis, Mr. Marvelous Mike Mayo, Insane Dane, Big Gravy, The Rocket Josh Benson, Lucky P. Larson, and many, many more.
You can also view TCW on the News Talk West Tennessee app for all your Apple and Android devices.
Catch Tennessee Championship Wrestling every Saturday at noon on NewsTalkWTN.com.
Are you tired of the stresses of everyday life? Do you need a break? Indulge yourself at Bogey's Dream Studio. Experience the very best massage therapy. Shane specializes in hot oil stone massage, which will melt away your tension and leave you feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. Self-care is important. Regular massage will strengthen your immune system, decrease joint inflammation, and help you enjoy better quality of sleep. Bogey's Dream Studio will help you achieve a relaxed mind and body. Why wait? Call now. 731-402-0172. That's 731-402-0172 for the very best massage experience you'll ever have. Let Bogey's Dream Studio of Massage take you to a dreamy state of relaxation. Call 731-402-0172. That's Bogey's Dream Studio of Massage, 401 Federal Drive, Jackson.
Is your office or home office in need of a new printer, copier, fax, or multifunction machine? Do you need business cards, envelopes, or office supplies? Are you looking to upgrade to new office furniture? Office World Incorporated in Trenton has been serving all of the Gibson County and the West Tennessee area for over 65 years. Office World is a franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
Well, that's a very offensive way to put it. You shouldn't say that.
Get all the latest news, talk, weather, and sports. NewsTalkWTN.com and 96.5 FM.
To be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned.
It's 421 in the program, and we're sitting at 85 degrees in Midtown, J-Town. Charlie, if you put those headsets on, you could hear me better, and I know you want to hear me. You don't want to miss a word. He said, look, I've known you long enough. I've heard it all before. There's only so much I know, Gina, and then I run through it and then I start repeating.
Everything loops back to Dan Reeves, always. It's the Dan Reeves Show.
Not always. 3 to 6 weekdays. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's great to be with you today. My name is Dan Reeves. I mean, it's just my name. I feel guilty of even saying it. But Gina Langley's here. Hi, Gina.
Hey, Danny.
Dr. Keith Nord is in the house, and ain't no doubt sports. Orthopedics and Spine Doc, it's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
And Charles Adams, one of my longtime dear friends, is in the house, and he's the man that saved Easter. Right there. How you doing, Charles? Get right up on that mic, would you? That's a very expensive mic. It's noise reduction.
Yeah, hey, man. Glad to be here.
It just doesn't seem right. Tap that mic. Yeah, you got to get right up on it. Move it around however you like it.
Is that better?
Yeah, I mean, right up on that bad boy.
Right. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. You're audible.
Okay. Sounds like we got a little fade in out there.
Yeah, it does sound like that, doesn't it? That can be misleading. Of course, I could be wrong.
You have been wrong before.
We just redid the entire studio.
Sure.
Have you noticed, Doc?
It looks wonderful.
Yeah. the next time you guys come in is going to be a big change, too. We made a decision today, Gina. I think you're going to love it.
Oh, really?
Yep. It doesn't involve the Easter Bunny, but it's close to it. It's that exciting.
It must be awfully special then.
Yeah, well, now, when we say CWA Developments with our phone lines, this is a gentleman right here, the entrepreneur, and CWA Development specializes in commercial and residential restoration and renovation.
Yeah.
Now, the residential side of it, and all that comes with 80 years of experience.
Right.
And Gina she was an eyewitness to her ceiling falling into her coffee with Easter bearing down in a huge plan that involved the Easter Bunny.
And all my grandchildren.
And no option for John to say, we'll get it next year. So it had to happen.
Massive gaping hole. There was a water leak on from the second floor.
Oh, gosh.
And so it wasn't just one huge hole. It ended up being two massive holes right in the dining room and in the kitchen area. So
And it took a little bit away from me, too, because I was really working the crowd for sympathy because of my shoulder and neck
which
problems.
that's just gone on and on. It really has, Dr. Nord. It really.
But
His poor little baby shoulder is what we keep saying.
This was a serious situation, though, with Easter. And
It was serious.
And so how did you called CWA and said, look, I've got water damage and I've got Easter.
And that portion had been fixed, but they came out and they fixed the gaping holes that were in my ceiling so that we could have Easter egg hunt and find the golden egg with the $20 in it and not have to look at this awful gaping hole that went to the upstairs practically. So
You could have put the Easter egg up in the hole.
That's true. It made me feel the customer service was exceptional. It made me feel like a VIP in a time when customer service isn't always exceptional. So It's been fun telling that story, and thank you very much for taking care of that for me.
Thank you, Ms. Langley. Thank you, Gina. It's, da-da-da. CWA comes to save the day.
That's right.
Right?
There you go.
So, when this company was conceived, our big thing was focusing on integrity, customer service, and operating with a strong sense of excellence in everything we do.
It just hit me, Charles, what the problem is. I think that our engineer didn't realize that is a phantom-powered microphone. It's the only one that's phantom-powered. If you let him borrow it, I'm going to make the adjustments at least by next Tuesday. But go right ahead, Charles.
So what? Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Yes.
Yeah. It's almost like from natural to auto-tune or something, Gina. So, yeah,
you sound like the Velvet Fog all of a sudden.
There you go.
Barry White. So, just in case the audience didn't capture what I just said. But thank you, Ms. Langley, for selecting us. And once again, CWA here to save the day. When the company was conceived, it was my thought to build a company that really operated off transparency, integrity, customer satisfaction, and always operated with providing excellent customer service. Professionalism. I like to kind of gauge every job after we finish just to find out things that we did well and things that we can improve on. So we don't think we're different in any way, just that we bring a better quality of service, transparency and integrity in how we operate. So thank you for selecting us.
Well, I can vouch for that.
Thank you. Love to hear that.
And Charles, I'm not surprised at all. I've known you for 20 years. And I said, Gina, I'm telling you, I know you don't know this man, but he's honest. It's integrity, and you came through.
Sure.
And your company did. Thank you for that, because it didn't happen every day these days.
Yeah, and like Ms. Langley just said, Gina just kind of conveyed it very well, that something that we don't see very often. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but it seems like we pay more for everything, but we get less in product and services.
Yeah, definitely.
So, we just like to kind of go against the grain on that and just providing good quality service for a fair quote.
Charles Adams, CWA Developments, commercial and residential maintenance, restoration, and renovation, fire and water damage. And Gina just found out water damage can be even more destructive than
Yeah.
fire damage.
It'll take out a whole ceiling.
Oh, boy. Plumbing, gutter, roof, window cleaning, wood repairs, including your privacy fence. And a lot of us have had damage to the privacy fence because we had like 3 hurricanes in a row come through. I got a new trampoline out of the deal, though.
Didn't we all?
And deck, I got to get you guys to come out and seal. You can seal my deck, right?
Sure.
Awesome.
Sure.
Let's get that lined up. Please. I
Yeah,
feel like I'm ordering you around.
absolutely.
Open. Now, this is ridiculous. And I think it's a misprint. Open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct?
Yeah, we don't call. We have a team that's on call on rotation. So for jobs that's our emergency, we can come out on the weekends.
What about Sunday?
Even Sunday.
731-503-9598. Save that number. You may not need them right now, but you will. Trust me. 731-503-9598. CWA Developments. 80 years of experience. Local people just doing it better. And you just heard Gina's testimonial. Charlie, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you, Dan.
We just built a website for your company. What'd you think?
Awesome. But for lack of a better word, Dan, awesome job. Excellent.
And our guy, Josh, is the best, isn't he?
He is. He really
Absolutely.
He does great. Great work.
Yes, he does. Charles, so good to see you. I know
Good
you got
to
to
see
get your mom, but
Yeah.
you're going to come back by Friday, spend some time, right?
Absolutely. Count on it.
And you know Dr. Nord.
No, Dr. Nord.
Dr. Keith Nord, Sports of the Higson Spine. Charles, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
Talk with you soon.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, there you go. Gina has been talking about that, and so you got to tell the man that owns a business and is a business owner. He gets all the complaints. It's good. It's good that the good news gets through too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And thanks to small business owners like Charles Adams and CWA. They give back to the community, just like the man sitting to your left, Dr. Keith Nord at Sports of the Phoenix Spine, who made sure that you were able to see the 6 candidates for mayor for the city of Jackson.
That's
Things
right.
like that. Doc, seriously, thank you for giving back. I mean, this is your home, your kid's home, and you put back into it because you want it to be the best it can be. Thank you.
Exactly.
And helping to keep everyone informed. You know, that is definitely community service.
Dr. Keith Nord is here, and with Sports of the Phoenix Spine. And if you go over on Skyline looking for them, they're not there. The new address.
Yeah, we're on 111 Stonebridge Boulevard. You know, we're kind of right back there past Starbucks and between that Sarakia Chevrolet dealership right there.
Yeah, it's in a great new building.
It is.
How long have you guys been there?
Just really for the past year and a half, 2 years.
Awesome.
And all that sports memorabilia. So cool in the lobby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at photo because I've known Doc here since he was a kid when I met him. And it was a great picture of your dad, you, and Sammy Sosa in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I think I asked you about it, but I was in a lot of pain. And I don't remember. Was that the 98, the record-breaking season?
Let's see. Yeah, that was back in, because I think I was 8 years old in that picture, or 10 years
Jeez.
old. Yeah. And
I was on my second marriage, I think.
What year are we talking about?
1998.
Yeah.
I was getting ready for my second marriage.
It is funny because they have all this different memorabilia for different teams. You know, the Cubs, the Cardinals, boxing, wrestling. There's
So cool.
all kinds of different stuff in there, and there's pictures of me and my siblings in there from, you know, all ages.
Right.
And so I have patients that are looking around and they're like, "Is that you?" Yeah.
That is, I thought about that, but
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different when you've known someone since they were a kid, and now it's. Do you perform surgery?
I do.
You're an orthopedic surgeon.
Oh yeah.
He was a kid 5 minutes ago. I mean, time just flies. Now, there's from the text line. This one comes in for you, Doc. Evidently they heard us talking last time you were here about a hand procedure, and they're asking about that. Can you explain how that it's advanced as far as the hand procedure goes? Carpal tunnel, possibly in how long that I would be out of work if it were a serious injury or carpal tunnel, that sort of a thing.
Yeah. The neat thing with hand surgery in particular that's taken off over the past decade has been what's called Wallant, which is wide awake, local anesthetic, no tourniquet surgery. So instead of having to go under general anesthesia and go into the hospital, and then you get lots of medication to kind of knock you out, and then get your surgery, and then you have to recover from all that, take time off, have a driver, not eat or drink. What we've started going to more and more is trying to do these procedures kind of like how you would have something done at the dentist, where you just get that part of your body numbed up with a numbing shot, and then you can have your carpal tunnel surgery or your trigger finger or minor hand or finger injuries treated sometimes even the day you come in to get evaluated. And that's part of the other benefit of it is you can
wait just a minute.
Yeah, that's because there's not a separate entity where you have to schedule at a surgery center or a hospital. As long as we have the right diagnosis, the right previous treatments that have been tried, you can come in, get evaluated, and depending on what day it is, you could get scheduled or have something done that day. Like I have lots of workers come in who smash their fingers.
Right.
And that's pretty clear cut. The finger's open and bleeding. You need something done for it. And that's the nice thing about having this capability in our surgery area in the office is that I frequently see work injuries like that. And within 2 hours, they've been seen, evaluated, had their surgery, and they're going home.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
Are you open to constructive criticism?
Sure.
Okay. That's not a good business model. You're not going to make as much money doing it that way.
It's funny you bring that up because it actually is not a great business model. It actually is about 95% cheaper to have your surgery done in the office.
That's worse than I thought, Doc.
Yeah.
You make a note on that, Gina?
It is actually significantly cheaper. It is a pure service. And I truly believe that it is sometimes what's best for the patient because you don't have to be put to sleep. And for, young people like yourselves, that wouldn't make too much of a difference. But for older patients who have more medical problems, maybe they're afraid to go to sleep for surgery, it opens up a whole new avenue where they don't have to take that risk.
Okay, so you're not offering this to younger people. That way you can go ahead and do the pre-surgery, you can do the evaluation. All this is cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
I offer it to all patients.
Yeah, will you write that down? That's something.
Well, because when the good doctor was here last time, I have this text thumb injury because I was using my
thumbing
thumb.
one out,
No,
rapid fire.
I was texting, and I've overused this thumb joint. And I asked Dr. Nord, is that a thing? And he said, yeah, it's a thing. I need to go see Dr. Nord and get my text thumb fixed.
Yeah. Chester, I'm going to change mics out because I know you've got some questions for Dr. Nord as well. We're going to change it out here. We're going to take a break here in just a sec. She may be as critical as well because she's business-minded, the way to generate revenue. And the way you're looking at this is, well, you're thinking about the patients. You got to think about you as well, Doc. I say that tongue in cheek, but that happens a lot these days, and that is awesome. You could come in. Could it be something as serious as carpal tunnel, and you could have that the procedure done that day?
Carpal tunnel is actually one of the most common ones I do in the office. So it could be carpal tunnel, trigger finger, tendonitis, or Dequer veins are all very common procedures that are done in the office. Finger injuries, like people who crush the tips of their fingers, all those are very easily done in the office.
Like I say, there was a guy in the waiting room, one of the visits when I was there to see you. I know him, and I forget exactly what he did, but it was pretty bad, really bad. And I asked him, tell me what you think. And he said, I tell you, I don't know how they could have treated me better. And he just went on and on.
It's good to hear.
And I said, if would you be willing to do a testimony? He said, absolutely. So
I think they have a lot of patients that would like to do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
A lot. Yeah.
Yep. Dr.
Great
Keith Nord is
reputation.
here. Sports Orthopedics Spine. It is world-class care focused on you. We'll continue with Doc. We got several more texts that have come in for Dr. Nord, Dr. Keith Nord, and we'll address those. He's an orthopedic surgeon. What what am I leaving out? Anything with your credentials?
Just specializing in hand and upper extremity. So,
and I tell you this, what I found out that it's impossible. Yes, you can carry on without your hands, but it's going to change things up big time. The beauty and the design of the human body, the hand separates us from, let's say, dolphins, they don't have hands. Because how could you enjoy like a smoothie from Smoothie King or a cappuccino? They don't know what that is.
It seems like your thumbs are real important,
Yeah, when it comes to texting, got to need that.
Yeah.
But Gina brings up the thumb, though. That separates us.
The thumb is huge.
It's a big deal.
Even if you just look at numbers from workers' compensation disability, losing the thumb is 40% of your hand function.
Wow.
So just the thumb, based on the numbers, counts for 40%.
And see, Dr. Nord, I'm suffering because I have this text thumb injury.
That's not workers' comp, Gina.
I think it's workers' comp.
That was a personal text.
Research.
Exactly.
Research.
Yes. Lord have mercy. But it's, we'll talk about that when we return here on the program. Dr. Keith Nord is our guest, sports, orthopedics, and spine. And the website, Doc?
That's sportsorthospine.com.
It is 4:42. It's 86 degrees. It feels like it's 94 degrees outside.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Lordy. We went from...
It's summer.
From
it's
winter
official.
And spring, stopped by and had a cup of coffee, and then summer came in.
And it's going to be here for a long time.
But I tell you this, the hotter the better, if you ask me. We'll be right back.
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. When severe weather strikes, we're here for you. 96.5 FM, NewsTalk, WTN.com. Welcome to Hampton Inn & Suites of Jackson. Make yourself at home in any of the 83 rooms or suites. Hampton Inn & Suites exit 83 at I-40 is minutes away from all Jackson destinations like the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex, Casey Jones Village, Jackson Madison County General Hospital, and many industrial complexes. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, free parking, and free hot breakfast. Also a 24-hour fitness and business center.
Hey everybody, this is Trent Lewis with Gene Langley Ford. Today I'm going to talk about the 23 Bronco Sport Badland. The heart of this beast is a 2.0 EcoBoost, producing 250 horsepower and 277 foot-pounds of torque. And it does power a 4x4 system, which means you can get over any terrain possible. To go over any obstacle you have a 17-inch gray aluminum wheel wrapped in a all-terrain Pirelli tire. Now to the back, you're looking at 65 cubic feet of space, which means you can fit 3 golden retrievers back here, groceries, or even if you're a college student moving boxes. But no matter what, you can celebrate by opening a bottle. Now moving on to the interior, you have an ebony roast with heated front seats. You do have a 8-inch display backed with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now one of my favorite parts is the GOAT modes. So as I was talking about earlier, you have 7 different drive modes. The GOAT modes is what gets you to that different terrain. So if you guys liked anything I spoke about, the horsepower, cargo space, or even the interior, come see me today at Gene Langley Ford. Again, Chandler Lewis.
every pest control company has access to the same products. The Southeastern difference is the way we go to market. We don't believe that you should have to take out a bank loan to protect your home. You have more value to us as a lifelong customer, not as a one-and-done sale from a slick salesman. We can still be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Termite and pest control, fungus and moisture barriers, attic installation, or just about anything else. Our services are guaranteed. 731-660-1052.
Hey everybody, this is Chandler Lewis with Gene Langley Ford. Today I'm going to talk about the 23 Bronco Sport Badland. The heart of this beast is a 2.0 EcoBoost, producing 250 horsepower and 277 foot-pounds of torque. And it does power a 4x4 system, which means you can get over any terrain possible. To go over any obstacle you have a 17-inch gray aluminum wheel wrapped in a all-terrain Pirelli tire. Now to the back, you're looking at 65 cubic feet of space, which means you can fit 3 golden retrievers back here, groceries, or even if you're a college student moving boxes. But no matter what, you can celebrate by opening a bottle. Now moving on to the interior, you have an ebony roast with heated front seats. You do have a 8-inch display backed with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now one of my favorite parts is the GOAT modes. So as I was talking about earlier, you have 7 different drive modes. The GOAT modes is what gets you to that different terrain. So if you guys liked anything I spoke about, the horsepower, cargo space, or even the interior, come see me today at Gene Langley Ford. Again, Chandler Lewis.
Jackson.com and say goodbye to neck and back pain. Text 731-800-TEXT. That's 731-800-8398. Don't text and drive.
.49 on the program. It's 86 degrees. It feels like it's 94 degrees. Oh, it is. Baby, it's hot outside. You really should stay. Because it's hot, don't mean you should go home.
Here we go.
I don't think. It is hot outside, folks. But we did. The good news, we made it through another winter. And Dr. Keith Nord from Sports Orthopedics and Spine, he's an orthopedic surgeon. He's in the house. There seems to be something, too, hurting a little bit more in our bones when it's cold outside, or is that just in my head?
You mean like you feel more pain when it's cold outside?
It hurts worse, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of goes back to that old wives' tale. Storm's coming and I can feel it in my bones. And there is something to that. Part of it has to do with the density in the air and the pressure and the humidity and changes. And I think your bodies just have an inherent way of sensing those kind of subtle changes that you can't really pick up on consciously, but your body feels it and knows it.
Yeah. Our bodies, they know us. And at times I feel like my body knows me so well, it doesn't really like me anymore. If you, dentists say, if you ignore your teeth, they'll go away. If you mistreat your body, you're going to eventually go away, right?
Yeah, you use it or lose it.
That's my motto. Chesley, you had a question, I believe, for Dr. Nord.
Well, it was kind of just a run off of what he was talking about doing surgery.
Now, you got to be kidding me. Hold up. She's still not there.
No,
We're having microphone issues.
That's yeah, we get.
Me and the doc will share.
And that's a problem that we got a microphone issue via we communicate to a mass audience.
Yeah, that could be problematic.
It's not a problem for Chuck. You can we'll just open the door.
Yeah, just the front door. Right.
He's got a lot of passion. Yeah, Jesse, you go right ahead for Doc.
It was just a runoff of him talking about doing surgery in the office. And we kind of talked about it during one of the breaks when he first got here, is just sometimes one of the worst parts of surgery is right before, which is the preparation for it, and getting through the anesthesia, the preliminary part of that, and then the after, just the recovering from being dead asleep, and trying to recover from anesthesia. So one of my questions is, how is the recovery? If you don't have that hard part before, how is the recovery of surgery in the office?
It's a good question. Okay, so
Yeah,
Doc,
great
how does that go?
You know, it all depends on what problem you had and what you're having treated. But in my experience, not having to be put to sleep with anesthesia greatly improves the recovery, especially day of surgery. After you have all those kind of medications, there kind of is a little bit of a post anesthesia hangover. It takes some time to get all that stuff out of your system. I've had patients who have had their, minor procedure surgeries done in the office, and they go back to work the next day.
Wow.
And that and people don't think about, if you have anything done and you have any kind of medication that alters your consciousness, makes you drowsy, sleepy, pain meds, that kind of thing, you can't drive. You'll get a DUI. But if you come in or go to the dentist and you just have a numbing shot and then have your procedure done, you can drive home. Right. As long as you have good function of your other hand and your feet, and so that kind of eliminates a lot of barriers to getting minor procedures done, that you have to have somebody else take off of work to come help you.
Right.
That you can't eat breakfast because you don't have that risk of vomiting or aspiration, which can happen where you choke on the food you ate. So that's why they don't ever let you eat before surgery. And if you have the bad luck of being scheduled in the afternoon, you may go, until 3 p.m. without anything to eat or drink. So,
and I think, and this is just my personal opinion, that we don't take into consideration how dangerous general anesthesia can really be. Obviously, if it's done in the hospital setting, and but a lot of times people have comorbidities that going under general anesthesia is just really not an option.
Yeah, I have the greatest respect for anesthesiologists. They are trained for when stuff hits the fan. They're trained to react in a heartbeat for that 3 minutes when somebody needs you most. And 99% of the time, anesthesia is perfectly safe. But you are right. There are times when if patients have other medical problems, heart problems, blood pressure issues like that they can have higher risk. Sleep apnea, breathing problems, smoking. These all increase your risk of having problems with anesthesia, and those are especially the kind of patients that I talk to and I recommend. Hey, you can have this done with just numbing medicine, just local, and forego the risk of having to be put to sleep.
Right.
That's Keith Nord is our guest, sports orthopedics and spine. Doc, this one comes in on the text line asking about neuropathy. What is neuropathy? I hear that's said to these days more than ever before, maybe because it's catching up with my age group.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this a lot, for example, when I was playing Little League Baseball.
Yeah. Neuropathy is kind of a broad diagnosis, and there can be multiple causes for it. One of the most common ones that I see is diabetic neuropathy. And so essentially neuropathy just means that something is damaging the nerves, or there has been damage to the nerves, and there's decreased sensation. So you get numbness in the feet, the toes, the fingertips. And diabetes is one of the most common public health issues that causes that, but other things can do it, like it's different medications people might take, different treatments can cause it. Sometimes it just happens for no good reason, which is what we call idiopathic, which is fancy doctor talk for we don't really know why it happens.
When it comes to idiopathic, our weatherman put the idiot in idiopathic. I think that's what you said. There was a question about can you talk about posture? I sit at my desk at the computer all day, every day. What can I do or anything to avoid damaging my neck or back? Or is there a posture? We're going to skip that one because that's preventive, and I don't think Doc would want to address that.
Well,
Dan.
I don't mind. I mean, actually, I'm sitting here trying to straighten my back up a little bit just talking about it. But
yeah, of course, I kid about that business model, but unfortunately, as Americans, it is refreshing. I had no idea that it was the 95% number that you mentioned in patient savings when it comes to some of the procedures you do. But what about preventive maintenance, Doc? Obviously, you got into the business, we'll call it a business, of being a doctor, where your first order of business is the patient. Exactly. That's refreshing.
Yeah. To me, what we were talking about is that the reimbursement's not as high for in-office surgery, but that's not the reason I do it. Obviously, it pays more to do it somewhere else. But I think the most important thing for me is patient outcome, and I think all doctors have a responsibility to try to reduce our nation's healthcare spending.
Yeah.
It's the amount of money that goes into healthcare is huge. It's one of the top sectors in the United States, and I think every doctor kind of has a responsibility to try to minimize our healthcare costs, and that's why I do it. I think I think that it provides a safe avenue for a lot of patients to get a surgery they may not have otherwise been able to get.
Exactly.
And then 2, it happens to also be cheaper.
Right.
Significant.
And efficient.
Yeah.
You're not, like you said, going to all these different appointments and all these different places.
Yeah.
You literally go to Sports Orthopedic and Spine and get taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Keith Nord is our guest, and the website again, Doc, for Sports Orthopedics and Spine?
Yeah, that's sportsorthospine.com.
Sportsorthospine.com. Gina, you have something for Dr. Nord? Thumb-related, social media injuries?
So I feel like I have a text thumb injury, Dr. Nord. and I think it's a thing, right? It's a thing.
It is a thing. It's I actually see it, especially in our younger population.
I have a younger person's problem, Dan.
Everybody, is in this position.
He said normally.
But really, it's your body is made to essentially to not do the same thing over and over all day, and that's where we see all these repetitive injuries. And that kind of falls in this category of repetitive injuries. People who are keyboarding all day, or people who are on their phones scrolling all day.
Maybe like on TikTok or on Facebook going like this.
We called this TikTok thumb last time.
Yeah, I think that's what I have.
But
I think that's what I have, Dan. TikTok thumb.
But I see it too in.
I think so. I've heard of green thumb, not TikTok thumb.
Yeah.
I tell you this, that means China owns your thumb.
No, Dr. Nord's going to fix it though.
What your thumb is very, very important. We'll start with. You want to be able to give a thumbs up.
There you go.
Right? But the thumb separates us from the crowd. I mean, it really does, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, yeah. It's 40% of the hand function.
Try to pick something up, for example, chest, without your thumb.
And Dr. Nord, I know that you said one of the surgeries that you do in office is carpal tunnel, but I'm not even going to try to pronounce the word because I never can get it right. What about the Bible bumps?
Bible bumps, yeah. So
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, I've never heard of that.
You ever heard of a Bible bump?
A Bible bump is what's called a ganglion cyst. That's when somebody gets a little bubble or a bump that pops up on the back of the wrist. Sometimes it's on the palm side of the wrist. And what that is essentially 99% of the time is that every joint in your body has a synovial lining. It's got a lining that keeps the joint fluid in. Just like in your engine, you have motor oil. It's kept in the pocket to keep the joint moving. Well, sometimes you get a little weak spot in that lining, like a balloon, and fluid will squirt out, and it makes a little bubble underneath, and that's a ganglion cyst, when joint fluid leaks outside of a normal joint space. And so they call it a Bible bump because literally one of the recommended treatments back in the day was to lay your hand on a table.
No.
Yeah, you can see where this is going.
Oh, no.
Take a Bible or big book and smack it. And try to rupture the cyst.
The same old wives that say the weather reflects in your body are the same ones that dug these Bibles out and.
I'm surprised that Gina hadn't heard of that. Her dad was a pastor.
Yep. I've never heard of that.
I have never partaken in the Bible smacking of my hand. I will go see Dr. Nord and get it in office surgery.
Now, I know Larry hasn't tried that remedy because he doesn't have one near him, at home, sort of a thing. But I've never heard of that.
Me either. That's a new one on me.
I grew up in a Pentecostal church, too. You'd think I
So
would have
did
heard
I.
of that.
Yeah.
Did you really?
I did.
Speaking in tongues would not freak you out, right?
No, sir.
It's going to freak me out.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, right? Somebody threatening to go, but only reason there's no one here to interpret, number one. But
Number one?
Number two, when I'd have friends that would go to say a Methodist church and they would go to church with me one Sunday and that, somebody spoke in tongues, they would freak. They never came back. Never seen them again. Never would.
I get that.
Do you remember the harvest time?
That's worse than the snake handling we did.
Oh, now I didn't go to that church. Do you remember Harvest Time, the Pentecostal radio show?
No.
You don't? Well, my granddad was the voice of Harvest Time.
Where at?
Here.
In Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
all of the Southeast, I believe.
Now, I don't want to one-up you, but the reason I didn't hear of it was because my grandfather, Aunt Connie, Aunt Colleen, Uncle Charlie, did a radio show every, I think, Sunday.
Y'all are going to keep talking and be related at some point.
Probably.
Well, the first clue into that was Pentecostal church. But no, it's, they would do, that did, because people ask me, is that why you got into radio? No, I never thought about it. I was outside. My grandfather would come outside, Doc, on a break, say, "Son, stop throwing the baseball against the radio station." I would throw it against the radio station and catch it off the wall. I didn't consider they could hear that inside the radio station.
Heard a little.
That turned out to be a problem, and so I had to stop doing that. That may have saved me from Tommy John surgery. It's that the surgery made famous by the former pitcher Tommy John, from the Dodgers to the stinking Yankees. But what is Tommy John surgery? Is that something that you do?
Yeah, Tommy John surgery is an injury of one of the ligaments, what are called the collateral ligaments in the elbow. What it is it's tearing or rupturing of one of the ligaments on the inside of your elbow that helps keep the elbow joint together. And when somebody throws a baseball or anything, really, it puts a lot of stress on the elbow. And so you imagine doing that, that's why they implemented pitch counts and things. You never really consider how many times does a baseball player throw a ball in a game, and it can go well up into the hundreds.
Right.
Especially if a pitcher pitches the whole game.
Right. 90 whatever miles an hour, right?
And just like your thumb we were talking about, your body's not meant to do the same repetitive task over and over again. And so in some people, it's just too much. It ruptures it, tears it, stretches it out. And Tommy John surgery is essentially rebuilding that ligament.
I was with you till you said your body was not made to, because I do not believe that about Bob Gibson. God made him to be a starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, that's why I said some people. It
is. If you think about it, we're not designed to come overhead as hard as we can to sling our arm forward,
whipping it. And that's a lot of force.
I feel like my Tex thumb injury it's significant, like a world-class pitcher. Well, what I got out of that.
Not sure.
I have something for Dr. Nord to research. I have an injury from reaching behind my car seat to pull up my purse.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. From,
One day I did it, and ever since then I have trouble lifting. Even just my Route 44 water here can be a struggle.
Yeah.
So I don't know what workman's comp I can file that under.
Have you considered a beer helmet? I mean, you can put water in it. That way,
one on each side.
Yeah. Well, Doc, what about that? I hadn't thought about that, but if you're a mother, especially, you're always reaching to the back seat to slap a kid.
That's what I was about to say. Is that I actually had somebody last week tell me that they reached behind to discipline a kid and felt a pop in their shoulder. But I've heard that a variation of that story, whether it's a purse or reaching back to grab something. But it's just kind of an unusual position to put your shoulder in, and it puts the rotator cuff on a lot of stress. It stretches what's called the labrum and also the capsule of your shoulder. And depending on how hard you do it or how much weight for what you're grabbing, you can strain or get a sprain of one of those tendons, or you can even get a small tear. And so,
jeez, I tell you,
it's hard being a woman.
I'm considering just staying in bed.
Just get a bubble.
That's right. Yep.
I'll get a helmet. You get a bubble.
I'll get a. What is that song? But never mind. I can't think of it. Dr. Keith Norton is here. Sports, orthopedics, and spine. Dr. Norton is an orthopedic surgeon. Doc, we use our bodies for many different things. Much of them not designed for bodies to do. Obviously, because things have changed big time. There was a time where women were most attracted to the big, strong, hairy-chested slugger type guy that could save them from a woolly mammoth. Now it's more like, can you get those pictures out of the cloud? Yeah, it was sort of a thing. And
that is awfully manly.
Yeah, and so with that comes injuries that we don't even consider. That, wait a minute, our body may not be designed for that. I tell you this, playing wiffle ball.
Oh yeah.
So it's adults used to tell me, "Hey, you're going to regret that when you're a little bit older." I was like, whatever. But that's true, because that's a lot worse than throwing a baseball. There's no weight at all.
There's no weight in the ball. So when you throw it, you're just slinging your arm, and there's no counter weight to kind of take some of that force off. So your arm just whips, and it hurts more than throwing a baseball or something with a little weight.
We would never stand in a room alone with nothing in our hands and do that.
Yeah.
For 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if you watch slow motion of pitchers, whether it's softball pitchers or baseball pitchers, and you watch the wave of their arm as they release the ball, it's kind of freaky.
Well, you bring that up, and do you recall, you had been a kid, who was the guy, the pitcher that broke his arm throwing a baseball in a Major League Baseball game?
I don't remember that.
I'll look on the Google machine.
Yeah, check it out. Now, I think he may have been recovering from I can't remember, but he broke his arm.
Yeah.
And it was nasty.
Yeah. I think I've seen a video of that online. Somebody throwing a ball, and the bone in the arm just snaps.
That whipping motion.
That or arm wrestling. See videos of people doing that, and they're arm wrestling, and boom, the arm just snaps.
Now, I've snapped a lot of arm wrestling. I don't mind telling you that.
Oh my God!
It was nothing personal. It was in the heat of competition. Is the way I like to look at it.
Yep.
Well,
do you find it?
Saunders breaks an arm while throwing a pitch.
Is that a question or a statement?
That's a statement.
Saunders.
I can't see. Hold on.
I'll check it out. Did you have something? Gina's looking for a reading glass.
Well,
we've known each other a long time. When I met Gina, neither one of us needed reading glasses. Now we both do.
You were just talking about how to, break arms. I'll tell you another way, which is why my left arm is aisle 7 of Lowe's right now. I was riding a 4-wheeler.
Oh boy.
And a deer ran out in front of us.
Oh.
And I don't know if I can say this on air. My thumb ended up landing the other way. It twisted my whole arm around.
Yeah,
top of I was 7 months pregnant.
Oh, jeez. On a 4-wheeler? You are from West Tennessee.
I was riding in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I was just trying to go fishing.
It's 7 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Did you have your 9mm with you?
I'm not going to say that on air.
Yep. There was a guy charged. I was asked. He was fishing, seriously, with a 9mm. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it was Larry asked, was he shooting a fish? I said, no, Larry was pistol whipping him. Yes. Did you find out, Gina, the picture?
I didn't.
We're going to find out, folks. We have a news department, and
it's failing us today.
Yeah, this is not news, I understand, but this happened like in the late 1990s. Dr. Keith Norton is here, and we've got plenty of texts. Doc, have you got a minute, or are you okay with time, or do you need to go? If you need to put a surgery off, we're fine with that.
I got about 10 minutes left.
10 minutes? Okay. Well, let's wrap it up, because we got news, And so let's get another couple of texts that have come in by Dr. Keith Nord. This week, by the way, you can text us 731-800-8398. 731-800-TEXT. That's the text line number. Any information? We can't file this under breaking news, but we still, inquiring minds, want to know who that pitcher was. Best I remember, too, he was a teammate that everyone seemed to like. You know. Okay, so, well, and this one goes right along to what we were talking about earlier. It's asking about hip replacement. When did you know? Is there something? Is there a telltale sign that, hey, I may need hip replacement?
Yeah. For hip replacement, knee replacement, these all kind of fall into the category of it's hard to know when the right time is. And really what we try to do as orthopedic surgeons is try to do everything short of surgery before we kind of take that step and take the risk of surgery. So, we try things like anti-inflammatories. We have injections we can try, whether they're steroids or things that kind of simulate the lubricating fluid in the joint. There are different braces you can try. And for hip or knee arthritis, really the time that I tell patients when to do surgery is when you've tried all the other things that are easy and don't carry the risk of surgery, and you can't do the things you want to do in life.
Right.
If you're getting to the point where it hurts all the time, you can't, pick up the grandkids, you can't go walk down the street or go through the grocery store, and you've tried all the other things short of surgery, then it's time to start thinking about it.
That kind of leads up to the question I was going to ask you. Primarily, we see hip replacements or knee replacements later in life. If a patient is diagnosed with arthritis early in life, are you able to make that decision sooner so that surgery doesn't happen at a time where they may not recover as well?
Right. That's a great question. It's a fine line of balancing. Hip replacements we have today, the technology has skyrocketed over the past, several decades. It's so much better than it used to be. But they still only generally last about 15 to 20 years. And once they kind of wear out, you kind of get faced with this decision of, well, then you need another surgery to have it done again. And so if you get a hip surgery, a hip replacement at a young age, you're potentially looking at 3 guaranteed surgeries.
Oh, wow.
And the risk nearly doubles every time you have a surgery on the same joint. You have risk of infection, bleeding, those kind of issues, or dislocations where the hip can pop out of socket. So that's kind of why I stress to patients, have we tried all the things before surgery, short of surgery, before we jump to that and make that decision? Because you do kind of want to hit that sweet spot where you get it where you're young enough, you get a nice recovery. And you don't want to do it so late that you don't get to enjoy all the years of benefit of it, but you also don't want to do it so early that you guarantee yourself a revision surgery.
Right. Doc, our news department did respond, not only with a name, but if you can see the monitor here, this is...
It was Sanders.
Saunders. And this is not who I was thinking. So evidently there's been multiple Major League Baseball players literally breaking their arm while delivering a pitch. So here we go. Let's play this.
Fastball about letter high. Here's the set. The 3-2 pitch. A wild pitch back to the screen. Scoring from third is Alicea. It's ball 4 and Saunders is hurt. A wild pitch because something in his arm snapped. Saunders down the field writhing in pain. That ball flew out of his hand and went way wide of the plate to the backstop. Jamie Reed, the trainer, out there. John Flaherty is holding Tony Saunders' right fist. It is clenched. And the Devil Rays have another ugly scene here at Tropicana Field.
To repair torn ligaments in his left elbow. And as he
Doc, that was just...
That's harsh.
Whew, boy, there it is. I asked, they delivered, and I do recall that was it.
Yeah,
he obviously was in a lot of pain there.
Absolutely. I just did a little quick math to kind of give you an idea of how much force goes through the arm every time somebody throws a baseball. And this is not for a major league pitcher who's chucking one at 90 plus miles an hour. It's about 73 pounds of foot-pounds, which is a torque measurement. So imagine holding 73 pounds of weight at the end of a ruler.
Oh, wow.
So that's a measure of rotational force. So imagine 1 foot away from you, you're trying to hold something at 73 pounds with a stick. That's how much force it takes to throw an average baseball.
Jeez.
So that's how much goes through your humerus every time. So you imagine 73 pounds twisting your arm, or even more for a major league player. You can see how it can literally snap the bone.
Well, and then you just have to throw a curveball. Throw a curveball where you twist. Throw a curveball where you're twisting it when you throw it as well.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, you want to get back to your thumb.
My thumb at text injury.
Yeah, well.
Sounds like it's major.
It's, her thumb, a tool of the trade, just like a Major League Baseball.
Text, yeah. It's
right or left arm.
Finger now,
That's Keith Nord. I know you've got patients waiting on you. It takes patience to be a doctor. And if you're a patient, it would help to have a doctor, and we're holding him up, so we'll let Dr. Keith Nord get back to it. Dr. Keith Nord, orthopedic surgeon, sports orthopedics and spine, sports ortho and spine, and spine.
Sportsorthospine.com.
Sportsorthospine.com. Doc, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
It's always good to see you, and we'll see you again next week.
All right.
Dr. Keith Nord, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
It is 5:17 here on the program, and it's 86 degrees here in Midtown J-Town. Stand by for news. The latest on today's civil trial verdict, and that on former President Donald Trump. I know a lot of you text about that. Thank you, Doc. Stay right there. We'll be right back here on the program. It's 5:17, and again, it's 86 degrees, and it feels like it's 94 degrees in Midtown J-Town. You know, those mics are hot, you guys. Could you hold on just a sec? It is 86 degrees, and Larry Newman, I see him out in the green room. And he's drinking. Will you let him know that tea is for our guests? He's drinking all the tea. Jeez, that guy. We'll be right back. Stay right there.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM. 96.5 FM. Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. President Biden is meeting with congressional leaders to try to reach an agreement on raising the debt ceiling. The president and Democrats want the debt limit raised with no conditions. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says Kevin McCarthy and Republicans can quickly end a debt default crisis of their own making.
People have asked, well, will the president give Speaker McCarthy an off-ramp, an exit strategy? The exit strategy is very clear. Do your job. Congress must act. Prevent a default.
But House Majority Leader Steve Scalise tells the Salem Radio Network it should never have come to this.
We shouldn't be here in early to mid-May just starting to wonder what the president's opening bid's going to be. You know, again, over 2 months ago, the speaker and the president sat down and started talking about the debt ceiling, and then the president went into hiding because the president wanted to run out the clock.
The meeting was timed to begin after U.S. financial markets closed for the day. Correspondent Rita Foley reports on the man arrested in Louisiana accused of shooting at children who had been playing hide-and-seek outside his home.
David Doyle told detectives that when he saw shadows outside his home, he got his gun and fired, but didn't know that he hit a 14-year-old girl, say officials. She's expected to recover. Investigators learned that several children were playing hide-and-seek in the neighborhood in Starks, Louisiana, and were hiding on the neighbor's property.
A jury has found Donald Trump liable for battery against a vice columnist E. Jean Carroll in 1996, awarding her $5 million in a judgment that could haunt the former president as he campaigns to regain the White House. The verdict was announced in a federal courtroom in New York City on the first day of jury deliberations. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 56 points, the Nasdaq dropped 77, the S&P 500 lower by 18. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Miss Prager here. Sue and I mean it when we say dogs are part of our family, and there's nothing like their loyal companionship. So we provide them with Rough Greens, R-U-F-F, because we want them to feel healthy and be with us as long as possible. I know Charlie Kirk feels the same way.
The Pragers and I couldn't agree more. I rely on my trusted furry friend, Mr. Briggs, who's an absolute machine, and he relies on me to provide what's best for him. Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black has packed Rough Greens, not a dog food, but a supplement full of vitamins, minerals, digestive enzymes, and omega oils that Mr. Briggs absolutely needs and loves. Trying Rough Greens for your dog just makes sense.
Greetings, Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here. I'm honored that the Pragers and Charlie trust their dog's health to Rough Green. I'm so confident that Rough Green can help your dog too that I'm offering you a free Jumpstart trial bag. Just cover the shipping. Yes, dog food is dead food, but it doesn't have to be. Go to ruffgreens.com.
A pro-DeSantis political action committee is going on a hiring spree.
A super PAC known as Never Back Down has been promoting Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, airing ads in the early voting states of Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada ahead of his expected 2024 presidential run. The group, led by Jeff Rowe, a veteran Republican strategist, said it had raised $30 million and now plans to hire dozens of staffers in the coming weeks to work the first 18 states in the GOP presidential primary calendar. The group is preparing to handle on-the-ground organizing for DeSantis, an unusual move. Super PACs can raise an unlimited amount from wealthy individuals, but they're barred from coordinating with a candidate's own campaign, which can limit their effectiveness. I'm Jennifer King.
An anti-monarchy group says it plans to take legal action against London's Metropolitan Police after several of its members were arrested as they prepared to protest the coronation of King Charles III. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. European lawmakers have rushed to add language on general artificial intelligence systems like ChatGPT as they put the finishing touches on the Western world's first AI rules.
The emerging technology has captured attention by composing music, creating images, and writing essays, but also raised fears about its implications. Authorities worldwide are scrambling to figure out how to control rapidly evolving AI to ensure that it improves people's lives without threatening their rights or safety. The EU's AI Act could become the de facto global standard, with companies and organizations potentially deciding that it would be easier to comply than to develop different products for different regions. Jeremy House reporting.
Chinese security agents have raided several offices of business consulting firm Capvision as part of an ongoing crackdown on foreign businesses that provide sensitive economic data. More at townhall.com.
And number 45 steps on the plate. So far, he's batting 1,000. The pitcher delivers. But wait, that's not the ball. It's the taxes. 45 Automart takes a swing, and they're gone.
At 45 Automart, we're making your taxes go dark with Grand Slam savings out of the park. That's right. For a short time, we're going to whack your tax up to $1,500 on anything you choose, so there's no way to lose at 45 Automart. Go to 45automart.com. Check out our bullpen that's stacked with more clean Carfax Southern rides than you can shake a bat at. Mustangs, Silverados, Wranglers, Altimas, F-150s, Camrys, Tacomas, Rogues, 4Runners, Avalanches, Cadillacs, Equinoxes, Cobalts, Caravans, Grand Cherokees, Lexus, Mercedes, Fiat, Ferrari, You get the picture. We're ready to whack the tax on all of them. Why strike out with Mr. Mega Dealer's base cash stealing stunts when dealing at 45 Automart is as easy as a lob, pitch, bunt? Check us out at 45automart.com today, where you're knocking the taxes over the fence with deals that save dollars and make tons of sense. Dealer!
My name's Tommy Bland, and I just received the BioT hormone replacement therapy. For BioT, I was just not hitting on all cylinders. I didn't feel like myself. I was constantly fatigued, brain fog, lack of energy, searching for something natural, something that I could use to help benefit my body and help maybe take me back to where I once was. And while I was waiting in the waiting room, I saw a pop-up advertisement there, and I started reading over all the symptoms. And I went down the list. They all pertain to me. My experience with Ms. Kim Nichols, my case manager for BioT, was great. She was very informative, put me at ease, went through everything step by step, knew exactly what to expect and what the outcome was going to be in the end. After BioT, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I can get off work, go home, catch my second wind, and I'm off to the races again. It doesn't matter if I'm working, selling cars, or if I'm on the boat fishing a tournament, I'm back to my old self again.
Give us a call at 731-318-5827 or visit our website at advancedrehabjackson.com for more.
Is your office or home office in need of a new printer, copier, fax, or multifunction machine? Do you need business cards, envelopes, or office supplies? Are you looking to upgrade to new office furniture? Office World Incorporated in Trenton has been serving all of the Gibson County and the West Tennessee area for over 65 years. Office World is a franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
News Talk West Tennessee includes newstalk965.com and Newstalk 96.5 FM, covering local news, sports, and weather on an extensive network of platforms, including radio, social media streaming, digital TV, live stream, podcasts, all on your devices. Our local and live weekday lineup includes Daybreak with Greg Wood and G-Unit, Walker Talks with Chuck Walker and Julie Holt, The Dan Reeves Show with Gina Langley and Larry Newman, Dave Ramsey, Jackson-Madison County Schools Game of the Week, UT Vols Sports, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Local, live, News Talk West Tennessee and newstalk965.com. Hear it first on News Talk 96.5 FM. We might be talking about you.
My name's Tommy Bland, and I just received the BioT hormone replacement therapy. For BioT, I was just not hitting on all cylinders. I didn't feel like myself. I was constantly fatigued, brain fog, lack of energy, searching for something natural, something that I could use to help benefit my body and help maybe take me back to where I once was. And while I was waiting in the waiting room, I saw a pop-up advertisement there, and I started reading over all the symptoms. And I went down the list. They all pertain to me. My experience with Ms. Kim Nichols, my case manager for BioT, was great. She was very informative, put me at ease, went through everything step by step, knew exactly what to expect and what the outcome was going to be in the end. After BioT, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I can get off work, go home, catch my second wind, and I'm off to the races again. It doesn't matter if I'm working, selling cars, or if I'm on the boat fishing a tournament, I'm back to my old self again.
Give us a call at 731-318-5827 or visit our website at advancedrehabjackson.com for more.
Get all the latest news, talk, weather, and sports. NewsTalkWTN.com and 96.5 FM.
It is the time now, as they say, is 5:28 Central Daylight Time in the year of our Lord. It's 2023. Oh, by the way, the date is May the 9th, if you're keeping score at home. My name's Dan Reeves, and it's a pleasure to have you along with us today. And we'll get to rapid fire here in just a moment. Brought to you by The Range, Jackson's only indoor shooting range. And the website for The Range is gototherange.com. Now, visit that website and check on some of the unique opportunities for you at The Range, like a membership there, and also The Range store. Inside The Range, we get our coffee at The Range store, Black Rifle Coffee. Now, I don't even check. I assume, Gina, I assume you're leaving.
If she's leaving, she may be leaving her phone.
Say bye. At 3 to 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Monday to Friday, and at the Range store, you'll find the Black Rifle Coffee, and I don't even check to see if it's caffeinated or decaffeinated. If Black Rifle Coffee makes decaffeinated, it will break my heart. It just wouldn't fit. Black Rifle Coffee, now they may make decaffeinated coffee. To me, personally, that would defeat the purpose.
Just a waste of time.
Yes. Coach is in the house. There's a brand new program coming to News Talk 96.5 FM. And Coach, tell us about it. What's it all about? What's the name of it? Is Coach Staton is in the house, and what you plan on doing?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So we are kicking off May 27th, 10 a.m. to noon, Sports Talk Live here in Jackson, Tennessee, and across West Tennessee. We'll be live also on Facebook and whatever other platforms that we're pushing out.
Yeah, you'll be able to listen to the show or watch it on our app, for example. If you've not downloaded our free mobile app, it fits Android and fits Apple products. News Talk 96.5 FM. If you've got an Apple product, for example, just go to your App Store and type in News Talk 96.5. And if you've got an Android, Google Play Store will get you there. You can also watch it on our website, newstalk965.com, and YouTube channel, Facebook, all of our social media platforms, including Twitch TV.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we're super excited about this. We've got some a great lineup for our first show, and I'm not going to spill the beans just yet. We'll get that out next week. But we've got coaches and players from across the region, and that we're going to be talking with, and talking to some officials and some mental health workers as it relates to sports. Just saw a crazy thing last night in Florida where a referee got sucker punched, and we need to talk about some of these things as it relates to sports. And so,
can we talk about that here in just a moment?
Yeah,
I want to get
definitely.
your thoughts on it with your experience in coaching and an administrator in the entire scenario that's playing its way out. And we'll also, one of the top stories today, of course, is the decision made. Donald Trump was found liable in that case, that civil case, and the jury awarded the, I forget the ladies, we'll run it down, $5 million award there in that case, and we'll get to the details of that as well. Many of you on the drive home today, this may be news to you, and that's all happened. Played its way out. The jury deliberated 3 hours. That's all they deliberated today before revealing their verdict. 5:32, 86 degrees. It feels like it's 94 degrees in Midtown J-Town.
The Southside Hawks play here. 96.5 FM, News Talk West Tennessee. NewsTalkWTN.com.
Pansies, poppies, and daffodils aren't the only spring things popping up all over West Tennessee. Beautiful deals on new 2023 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are blooming right now at Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt. Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley. Come by our lot at 3500 Easton Drive in Humboldt or visit us online at GeneLangleyFord.com. You'll see our personalized service, guaranteed financing, and lifetime powertrain warranty make buying your new Ford a bright and sunny experience. Or customize your new Ford car, truck, or SUV and apply for financing online at GeneLangleyFord.com, and when it arrives, we'll deliver it right to your driveway. In the market for a pre-owned vehicle, we have a huge selection on all makes and models, updated daily at GeneLangleyFord.com. And as everyone knows, if you ever have any service needs, our service department is known area-wide as the best in the business. Regardless of your make or model, we'll get you back on the road in no time. Whether it's a new Ford, a used vehicle, or service, you really should try Gene Langley Ford before you buy. The dealership service bill.
See dealer for warranty details. They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
Pansies, poppies, and daffodils aren't the only spring things popping up all over West Tennessee. Beautiful deals on new 2023 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are blooming right now at Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt. Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley. Come by our lot at 3500 Easton Drive in Humboldt or visit us online at GeneLangleyFord.com. You'll see our personalized service, guaranteed financing, and lifetime powertrain warranty make buying your new Ford a bright and sunny experience. Or customize your new Ford car, truck, or SUV and apply for financing online at GeneLangleyFord.com, and when it arrives, we'll deliver it right to your driveway. In the market for a pre-owned vehicle, we have a huge selection on all makes and models, updated daily at GeneLangleyFord.com. And as everyone knows, if you ever have any service needs, our service department is known area-wide as the best in the business. Regardless of your make or model, we'll get you back on the road in no time. Whether it's a new Ford, a used vehicle, or service, you really should try Gene Langley Ford before you buy. The dealership service bill.
See dealer for warranty details.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range, date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get: a shooting lane for two targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse, all for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from The Range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
My name's Tommy Bland, and I just received the BioT hormone replacement therapy. For BioT, I was just not hitting on all cylinders. I didn't feel like myself. I was constantly fatigued, brain fog, lack of energy, searching for something natural, something that I could use to help benefit my body and help maybe take me back to where I once was. And while I was waiting in the waiting room, I saw a pop-up advertisement there, and I started reading over all the symptoms. And I went down the list. They all pertain to me. My experience with Ms. Kim Nichols, my case manager for BioT, was great. She was very informative, put me at ease, went through everything step by step, knew exactly what to expect and what the outcome was going to be in the end. After BioT, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I can get off work, go home, catch my second wind, and I'm off to the races again. It doesn't matter if I'm working, selling cars, or if I'm on the boat fishing a tournament, I'm back to my old self again.
Give us a call at 731-318-5827 or visit our website at advancedrehabjackson.com for more.
Wake up with Wood. Daybreak with Greg Wood. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on 96.5 FM and newstalkwtn.com.
Good Tuesday afternoon. It is 5:38. It's 86 degrees. It's time for a weather update presented by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses, land, and trailers fast for cash. DustinBuys.com. Feels like it's 85 finally. Cooling down just a tad outside of Rio Field. Updated temperature out north is 84 degrees. Here in Midtown, it's 86 degrees. With the Rio feel of 94 degrees. There's a lot of concrete here in Midtown and J-Town, right?
It got summer quick.
Yes, it did. It's how it is. We go from spring stopped by and had a cup of coffee, and then bam, it is summertime. So,
apparently not decaffeinated either.
Geez, I prefer it though, right?
Yeah. I'll take it. I don't mind the cool nights, but I like the warm days.
I like those warm summer nights. So, Coach, I'll be honest with you.
Well, the pool's getting open Saturday, so we're excited about that. I'll tell you.
Which pool?
My pool.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'll take that as an invite.
That's it.
I'll be glad to, Coach.
But I think 1 o'clock Saturday is going to be a good time. So
boy, I tell you. Yeah. It's being outside, man, living life. I feel bad for these kids sometimes. We'll get into it with our discussion on what's going on with the shortage of TSSAA officials, specifically for football, but other sports as well here in just a moment with Coach. But as 85 right now, out north, 86 here in Midtown in Jackson. Tonight we drop down to 63 degrees. It'll be clear overnight in 63. Tomorrow, Wednesday, mostly sunny, slight chance of a shower and thunderstorm. Tomorrow afternoon, highs in the upper 80s. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10, chance of rain tomorrow, 20%. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, slight chance of a shower, and maybe a stray thunderstorm. Lows in the mid-60s. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Chance of rain tomorrow evening is 20%. Now, Thursday, oh boy, here we go, because it's the Junior Floats Parade Thursday. We're going to get 10 in Humboldt. There's Strawberry Festival, mostly cloudy, and a chance of a thunderstorm Thursday. And a chance of showers as well in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Thursday, the high temp in the mid-80s, south winds at 10, gusting up to 20. Chance of rain on Thursday, 70%. Keep your fingers crossed. Then Thursday night, mostly cloudy, slight chance of a shower and a thunderstorm. Lows in the mid-60s, southeast winds around 10. Thursday evening, the chance of rain is 20%. Now, the Grand Floats Parade is on Friday. We plan on being there in Humboldt at the Strawberry Festival. Partly sunny on Friday. Chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of rain Friday, 50%. Friday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a shower in the evening. Lows in the upper 60s. Chance of rain Friday night is at 20%. Moving into the weekend, Saturday. 50-50 shot at a shower, high of 84. Sunday, partly sunny, that is. Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning, and then another chance in the afternoon, highs in the upper 80s. So there you go. Boy, the Strawberry Festival. Keep your fingers crossed on this, folks. Clydesdale's going to be there on Friday at the West Tennessee Strawberry Festival in Humboldt, and that's memories for a lifetime for kiddos over there and definitely. Adults with the carnival downtown. Is just it added something to that Strawberry Festival carnival to move it downtown.
Sure.
You know,
sure, yeah. That and then also there's a food truck out of Georgia that comes up for that that has the best homemade ice cream, banana splits. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, they were here just a few months ago, and did a little weekend stint as they were driving through. And it was fabulous. We hit it all 3 nights. I'm telling you, fabulous.
Coach. What do you think it is that maybe it's a combination? Maybe there's a reason that just jumps off the page at you. Why are we short of officials in Tennessee, TSSAA? And is it just football? Is this across the board?
It's across the board. I'm looking at this USA Today. On my phone here, and it says disabled veteran umpire punched by athlete's father during his high school baseball game. We got a major issue, and we got a lot of major issues, I would say, across the board. And the parents, the athletes themselves, coaches. We got coaches that are fighting officials, So I think there's people just have had enough and said, "Hey, we're not going to do this." We had a lot of great officials here in West Tennessee over the years, and football and basketball, and some of those guys are in age, and football as well as I do. You that's just not it's not a 1 hour game. You get out there and get off the field as quick as possible. You're out there for 4 or 5 hours sometimes, and in the heat, in this West Tennessee August is just horrible. So physically some of these guys just can't do it anymore, and so they're retiring, but there's just nobody left. There's nobody that's taking their place. Nobody wants to do it for the $75 they're getting paid, and the abuse they take from the stands. So it's tough, but it's across the board. The officials in softball this year were I think I saw about 4 different sets in the season here in the Jackson area at our place. And so when you're playing 20 games only to see 8 guys, that's there's just not people wanting to do it. And we got to get a handle on this some way. I was talking with a gentleman today, and he said, "Why don't we just take parents out of the stands? If parents can't be controlled at the games, and all they're going to do is spout obscenities and fight umpires and stuff, then let the kids come in, let the kids play, and then the parents can pick them up afterwards after everybody's gone." And that's what we hate to see, man. These kids are doing their best to represent themselves and their school, but they also represent their families. And you know, when I stepped on a playing surface, my dad always said, remember, you know, you don't just represent yourself, you represent everybody that's in your family that has that name. And so I don't know. I don't know where we go. I don't know how long this is going to get, or how far it's going to get before it gets any better. But
well, you know, and there are, I just Googled to see it just in Tennessee how many stories would pop up, and it's just, well, page after page. This one is out of Rockford, Illinois. It's not. Then I wanted to see, okay, is this repeating itself across the nation? And the answer is emphatically yes.
Yeah.
This story, the headline is, "It's a real problem. The shortage of football officials continues around state line." Pardon me. Okay, so the story, we've heard the same story a lot this season. Friday night's games moved to Saturday because there aren't enough guys in stripes to go around. Mm-hmm. Now, this again is out of Illinois. And here in Tennessee, it's not uncommon, well, it wasn't last year or the year before last, to make a phone call and say, "Hey, you guys want to play on a Thursday night?" giving us teams the option to move the game to a third. And if you don't take that option, then I think TSSAA is going to have to sign some teams to play on a Thursday night, sort of a thing. Said last week, one officiating crew had to do 2 varsity games Friday night because of the continued shortage of officials around the area.
Yeah, I've heard that, especially coming out of the state of Florida, where they're starting to double book varsity games on a Friday night with the same crew. And, you know, and then also reducing the numbers of officials. And so that's just going to make parents and coaches, players even more upset that the calls aren't being made that they think should be made, because nobody there to see them. You know, if we got a back judge and a head judge and a line judge, we're not going to have very many calls on the field.
Well,
And,
you know, I was watching a while back NBA Finals. This goes back probably the 70s. And it was, I do believe it was the Lakers and the Celtics, or maybe it was the early 80s, those two. But they only had two officials on the, and one of them was injured, and one official called that game NBA Finals.
Right.
But I would suspect that if that happened in high school, this is an assumption, the crowd would not be nearly as friendly as that Celtics crowd. With one of, I mean, it's things of. This is a microcosm, I think, of society. Do you think
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. You know, we were talking about school violence in school today with some teachers and just violence in the nation in general. And you know, how do we get a handle on this? And you know, how social media has given people an avenue to stand up and say things that they wouldn't normally say to somebody's face. And so, you know, that's another thing that these officials, you know, just get berated. I pull up Facebook and every Saturday afternoon after Little League, I'm seeing some video of some parent going off that this guy should never officiate again, and how horrible he and his family is. And what does his family have to do with anything? His family wasn't there calling the game. So I think it is just a continuation of things that are going on in society, and we need to you know, we need to get a handle on some of this stuff before it's too late. But you know,
it's a national problem, folks, and it's impacting high school sports across.
I'm afraid that some of these things are going to get shut down. Some of these sporting events are just going to get shut down.
There's been a loss of about 50,000 referees and umpires nationwide in high school.
Yeah,
that's a lot, and I'm hearing from officials, it ranges from, hey, they're not paying me enough to take this type of abuse.
Right.
It's not just in high school. It goes down to youth athletics as well.
Right.
And these guys are doing it, these officials, these referees, they're doing it because, much like the players, because they love it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting rich. Essentially, they're trying to cover their travel and pick up a little bit of money, maybe some lunch money, but they're doing it because they love it. When you take that love away by verbally assaulting these people, then why would they be there? Now, the other part of that is when you look at something you touched on about, kind of the bravery of being out of range. People will do things behind the windshield of a car that they would never do or say to your face.
Right.
They feel somehow, some way that windshield is there to protect them, and there's no rules. They'll say whatever they want to. They'll flip you off. I think it's much the same when it comes to high school or athletics in general. This is something they wouldn't say to a man's face if they thought there was any chance that he may retaliate.
Right.
And so, bam, here we go.
Yeah, and you see it on YouTube and TikTok and everything all the time. Some of these refs are actually retaliating. When they get their hands put on by somebody else, they're defending themselves. And, that's sad that has to be, perpetuated in front of the youth of America, of our state, of our towns. That's not the example we want to set for these kids. And, there you go. It's horrible.
Here's another one. This one, again, just to let you know, this isn't something that's unique to the state of Tennessee. Here's out of San Diego, California. More referees are quitting and calling it quits than ever before. This comes as fall sports get underway with the start of the new school year. San Diego County Football Officials Association, they work high school varsity games, San Diego, California area, said the number of officials is down drastically. This is from last fall. And quoting Gary Gittleson, he's a member of the San Diego County Football Officials Association, quotes, "I never thought our numbers would decrease by about half. We normally, in the past, would have at least 40 new members each year. 2 years ago, we had 10 new members. Last year, we had 27 new members. You add those together, and we still don't get the 40.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are we going to do here?
Well, I think that's something that
I'm not sure the honor system will work. I'm going to find this story. I think it's in New Jersey. There's a new rule that if you use abusive language against an official, against a referee, that you've got a choice. Either you're banned or you have to come down and put the whistle around your neck for at least a quarter.
Let's just do the first because we don't need them on the court if that's the case. But when I was a principal and AD in the public school system, that's one thing that when the officials come onto your campus and they get changed and they come out of their locker room, they have full control over that playing field or court or diamond or wherever they're at. They have the final say. And I always looked at the officials in my building or on my field and I said, if you have any issue, all you have to do is get my attention and we'll make it go away. And when you ban a parent or two from coming back for that season, and you don't start it out big, you don't ban them for life. But when they miss, I just think about my son broke his ankle when he was in a sophomore in high school and missed the basketball season. How disheartening as a parent it was for me to not be able to go to his games because he was injured, not because my son was playing and I had to sit at the house and watch it on maybe Facebook Live or something like that, or listen to the score updates on 96.5 FM. But we've got to do something to get people's attention, and if you ban them, and that's the start for the season. Ban them for, sometimes a lot of kids play multiple sports. So if you get banned from football season and you're going to get banned from basketball season, if you screw up during football season, maybe parents would take more heed to that and follow through with that.
Okay. Explain it one more time. Make sure I got it. If a parent could essentially get their kid suspended.
Yeah, I mean, if you are not going to hold up to your code of conduct, and a lot of schools used to do that, they would create a parent code of conduct. And if you're going to come in and I think of one school here in our region, I won't name it, but couple years ago we were playing, and the parents stood up in the back corner on the top bleacher and just cussed and berated the officials and the coaches and everybody. And so the AD, we had a meeting about this later on. The AD said, I went to that parent and said that if you can't control your mouth when your child is playing on the field or on the court, then maybe your child doesn't need to play on the field or court. And that's when they got his attention. They banned him from a game or two. They, whatever. They kind of did that, type thing. But eventually when they said, we're going to take your kid off the team because you can't do that, that's finally when the dad came in and sat down and shut up. And that's sad that you have to punish kids for grown adults' behavior.
I think that would work in some cases. Other cases, I think that may just send the guy right into orbit as far as his anger. Coach Tim Stratton is here, and a brand new sports talk show will premiere later this month here on News Talk 96.5 FM. And Coach, let's run down your resume. You've coached, you've been an administrator. Let's run that down. Do you mind?
Well, yeah. So I've started out in the St. Louis City League coaching, and went from there to Missouri Baptist University as a grad assistant for basketball, and played a little football along the way in the St. Louis region, and then kind of went into full-time coaching from that, and moved to the state of Florida back in the late 90s and early 2000s. I coached at a 5A school, offensive coordinator down there, and a couple other places, basketball, softball, weightlifting, baseball, you name it. It's been out there. I've about coached it. And then moved here into the Jackson area in 2007 and coached at Northside for a few years, and then moved down to Haywood County, where I coached for a few years down there, multiple different sports in these places, and then came back to the Madison County area, and gonna kind of see where coaching leads me in the next few years. But Father Time's catching up, and it gets a little harder to get up every day after you go coach tonight. But Mother Nature gets blamed for a lot of things, but I like her better than Father Time, for crying out loud. And Coach, here is this is a survey conducted by Officially Human, which is an organization that promotes respect among referees. They found out of 19,000 referees, 60% said that their top reason for quitting is the verbal abuse they take from parents and fans. That survey was done last fall. Now, I can't say that I'm surprised at all. I've been doing play-by-play for high school sports in different leagues and different levels for a long time. I've witnessed the changing of the attitudes and how far fans are willing to go. I was asked to come and do the PA announcing for it was a state championship game, coach pitch baseball. So coach pitch age would be what, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old. A coach, a female coach for this team, one of 3 coaches. I think it was Dresden versus Huntington, and I think it was Dresden. It's been a few years ago. I ended up, I couldn't resist because I was stunned, and I filmed it, put it on Facebook. The thing went viral. And then I believe it was that coach that ripped into me. You had no business filming it, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay. And someone else said that, so I'm not calling any names, but there was a business owner that shut her business down because
I think that was that particular coach was ripping him on this basically smart trash website that was owned by Gannett. I think they finally took it down, but that's attacking someone to the degree of where they just close their business down is pretty remarkable. But what happened in that melee was, I think it was a bang play at first base, and the umpire. Then I got to make every call correct. Pardon me, but this was a bang in which I thought he got it right, and he made the call. He made it quickly and emphatically. That's all. That's the best you can ask.
Right.
If you go, hey, safe out, okay. I can understand the initial reaction, but I think he may have gotten this right. Even if he missed it, so what? Because here we go. Huge argument led by the female coach. And, I mean, fans were upset. They're yelling and screaming. And I looked out in left field, and the left fielder was chasing a butterfly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what does it mean that it means more to the parents than it does the kids? And at what point does it occur, or does it occur to people to react with that much anger over a 6-year-old playing baseball at coach pitch that, hey, at some point, I'm going to take the joy away from my own kid of even playing the sports. That left fielder, again, and at that age, they have a hard enough time finding their butt with both hands.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I tell parents all the time, that I've never seen a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old get a pro contract out of some Little League baseball game, much less even that. Use this all the time. The greatest player of all time was cut from his junior high basketball team, and it turned out very well for him. So let the kids play, let the kids go out there and have a good time, and let them learn those things that sports. That's one of the things we want to talk about. We press in our All Children Play foundation that we have is that we want good sportsmanship, and this kid is probably not going to go pro in very many things except for a job, and
that's right.
And he needs to be, or she needs to be able to go be an employable person, be able to talk to somebody with respect, and take some constructive criticism. And that's what playing sports does.
Absolutely.
And so we got to get back to that.
I want to talk more with you. We're out of time today, but you show the name of it, and when does it start?
Sports Talk Live with the Coach starts on May 27th. We'll be live 10 to noon. And we'll have some coaches and other people in here that we'll be talking about these topics with. So we'll continue this conversation a lot, I'm sure.
Yes, we will. And I'm going to have you back in this week if you can. This is an interesting conversation. We just touched the tip of the iceberg. We're completely out of time. The time allotted for this program, as they say, is simply expired. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM. Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. The Biden administration is preparing for a surge of migrants at the southern border when a public health law expires on Thursday. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
The coronavirus pandemic-era policy allowed the U.S. to quickly expel many migrants, but those restrictions expire this week. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
We do want to put a process in place that's orderly, that's humane, and using the tools that the president has in front of him to do just that.
Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas says despite preparations by the administration, the border situation is extremely challenging. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Disagreements over raising the debt ceiling were discussed at the White House today between President Biden and House and Senate leaders. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says Congress simply cannot allow the nation to default on its debt.
This would be catastrophic, and it does not have to happen. It does not have to happen. This could be avoided. We have never, ever defaulted before. We cannot be a deadbeat nation. So we can avoid this. The president's going to make that very clear today.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise tells the Salem Radio Network it's now or never for a settlement to be reached.
This week is a time to get serious. The president has blown a whole lot of time waiting until the midnight hour. But it's time for him to finally start putting up. Shut up or put up, and here's the moment.
The meeting was timed to begin after U.S. financial markets closed for the day. A jury has found Donald Trump liable for battery against a Vice columnist E. Jean Carroll in 1996, awarding her $5 million in a judgment that could haunt the former president as he campaigns to regain the White House. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 56 points, the Nasdaq dropped 77. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Relief Factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. Relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest-rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Commercials.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
Wall Street edged lower following some mixed earnings reports, as stocks remain roughly where they've been stuck for more than a month now. The next big milestone for the market will be Wednesday's report on inflation, which has come down but does remain high. It could dictate the Federal Reserve's next move on interest rates. Political leaders are also meeting in Washington today to try to avoid a default on the U.S. government debt. Dow was down 56 points to close at 33,561. The Nasdaq lost 77 to 12,179. The S&P 500 dropped 19 points to 41.19. New York oil rose 55 cents to $73.71 a barrel. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm John Scott.
News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. The Israeli military says it's killed 3 senior commanders of the militant Islamic Jihad group in targeted airstrikes. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
Palestinian health officials say over a dozen people were killed, including the commanders and members of their families. Health officials say at least 20 more were wounded. The strikes hit the top floor of an apartment building in Gaza City and a house in the southern city of Rafah, with witnesses reporting seeing explosions. In the past, Palestinian militant groups in Gaza have retaliated for such targeted killings, with the leader of Hamas warning Israel will pay the price. The surprise attacks come at a time of soaring Israeli-Palestinian tensions. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The U.S. military says it is investigating reports that it killed a civilian in a recent strike in northwest Syria that was meant to target a senior al-Qaeda leader. More on these stories at townhall.com.